And we are back. Welcome to the Random Show, episode number 112, with your host, Agostino Zinga. This is Random Show, episode number 112, with your host, Agostino Zinga. And I hope you are doing well wherever this live stream may find you. I hope you are doing swimmingly. How am I? You know, all good, all things considered. I decided to have a little bit of last minute mangoes and chop those things up and shove them down my esophagus, hence why I'm late, so I do apologize. Had to wash these giant hands covered in fucking sucrose and shit, and now we're back where we need to be. So apologies for those of you who've been waiting for the big man, who've been waiting for the big man. But sometimes when mango's cool, and you know what it is with black people and mangoes. Same thing with the pineapples and shit. Once we get some, we need to make sure that we're devouring them. So I devoured some mangoes, had a good time with that, but here we are back in again in the hot seat. So loads of things to cover. Some things we're going to go over that we went over already in the previous pod or the previous live stream, to kind of, you know, go over some old ground and to kind of get some updates, especially concerning some of the Crystalia stuff. There is a golden hour thing we want to need to check out as well regarding Crystalia's response for the Rolling Stones article, which has been pretty hilarious. There is, what else is going on here? There's a Brendan Schaub show happening we have to talk about as well. And what else? And maybe a few other bits and bobs, but we're going to get through it little by little as we progress with the day's events. As per usual, if it's your first time check out the show and you enjoy what you see or what you hear along the way, then please do me a favor and make sure you smash that like button for me, just to make sure that people see that this show is watched by many people aside from myself. That's all it's for. That's all it's for. Anyways, we're not going to waste any more time. Let's just jump right into it. So first things first, we're going to get into straight away no jumper news. So no jumper news, mostly concerning YURIY. YURIY's having a bit of a tough time out there. The people on Reddit have essentially decided that he is he's the kind of whipping boy to Reddit for the most part. It feels like YURIY, for whatever reason. I'm gonna guess the reason why he's the whipping boy of the Reddit, No Jumper Reddit and the No Jumper V2 Reddit, is because he was one of the only people who didn't make any kind of move, who didn't really make any kind of statement, and just essentially sat on the fence, Boogie 298 style, when it came to everybody leaving off the back of the whole beef between, you know, Adam 22 and AD. I think YURIY is one of the only people who didn't really choose a side in any way, shape, or form. Yes, he is kind of, you know, linking up with Reconnected and stuff, but he did try and essentially keep himself somewhat out of it, not get involved. And then of course when he had the extra sprinkling of his girlfriend Riley getting fired, I think some people, myself included, would have thought he would have stepped on just that kind of notion alone and kind of just went to back up his girl. But I guess there's other things at play here, who knows, whatever it may be. But regardless, he's become the de facto whipping boy of both of those subreddits, and for some reason he kind of makes it his thing to kind of keep fighting back and to kind of try and clap back, but it doesn't necessarily work, because fundamentally I think a lot of the criticism has been kind of, you know, centered in some level of truth. Even some of the, you know, dissing and insults and whatnot and teasing has been getting from people, it is centered in some level of truth. And I think it kind of, for me, started off primarily with this Las Vegas trip. I think this Las Vegas trip they went on recently, I've got a picture here, courtesy of Harmonious YURIY's Instagram page, that features him and Riley on the way to fucking dinner out there in Las Vegas. And I think his treatment on stream of his girlfriend essentially confirmed a lot of people's suspicion on the Reddit of like who he is and how he is as a person, okay, his personality and whatnot. And it kind of made people think that he's a bit of a dork and a bit of a lame. And I think once that happens, it's very difficult to turn it around. Or if that is the case, you just kind of embrace it and lean into it. But for whatever reason, he's fighting against it, when really there's too much evidence out there to confirm the fact that he may be a bit of a dork and he may be a bit of a lame, which isn't a bad thing. It just kind of is what it is. But just on this alone, just the optics of this picture, you can clearly see, if you were kind of drawing the green lines, there's a lot of love there. They clearly got a lot of time for each other. It is what it is. But just in terms of the optics of being in flipping Las Vegas, going out there on some sort of like couples trip with your friends also, I was just surprised that this kid didn't have one decent leather jacket or like a denim jacket, wants a decent pair of straight trousers and one decent pair of shoes that he just wears just when he wants to do, you know, date night shit, just to kind of change up a little bit. Because you're in Las Vegas, it's glitzy, it's shiny, everyone's got their best garms on, and here you are going out on a date night specifically with your girl next to you on your arm, dressed to the nines, a green dress on, bag, heels on and whatnot, and you're turning up in some cargos and a hoodie. It's just like, come on, dude, come on, geezer. And then the streaming everyday thing as well, that is very questionable. You would imagine just on the date night, you know, dinner thing, maybe put the camera down for one moment, but you know, you gotta fucking, you know, keep up streaming and get the shekels in how you can. But that for me was the one thing I looked at thinking, that's a little bit strange. Like, why are you flipping still doing this sort of shit? Why don't you put the camera down for a little bit? Why don't you, I don't know, change up your outfit just for one day, just to kind of have a little bit of a good time with your girl or whatnot? But hey, everyone does what they does. The thing that's really funny and really hip, and really kind of, I think, really doesn't make any sense, and kind of he's kind of calling himself out in one way, is this Instagram story that he posted just recently, where he took these pictures of people that I guess he deems to be incels, doing incel things, and then he wrote on top of it, "These really be the dudes that be trying to give me life and relationship advice. Keep watching the content, friends, a lot more to come." Now, the funny thing about this is that the people giving him advice, I'm only giving him advice because this guy, if I'm not mistaken, is close to 30. He acts like a 17 and an 18-year-old, but he's actually like 28, 29 or something. So he's a grown-up. And you would imagine at some stage, getting on live stream and begging for tips and donations probably isn't a great way to kind of live your kind of life, and especially long-term in terms of you having some level of security. But the idea of him getting a part-time job and supporting a streaming career doesn't really seem like a viable option. He kind of looks down on it. He kind of thinks he's above it. But then he's also willing to kind of, you know, essentially go on a couple's trip and maybe potentially damage the relationship just for having to stream on the entire flipping time because he needs it, because, you know, that's his only kind of form of income. I just find that really, really funny because, and then the other thing on top of that, to add, to lay a little patina on top of this, right, is that he describes people as incels who are currently giving him advice or trying to get into his ear about how he's acting. But then he revealed, without any encouragement, that Riley's his first girlfriend ever. So his first girlfriend ever has been Riley, which he kind of hit out of the park. Well done to him. But it also is a clear example that if she wasn't around, he would be the incel that he describes here. Because before that, he says he hadn't had any relationships with a woman. Now, it doesn't mean he's a virgin before her. He could have been with somebody, but the fact that he acts the way he does with Riley kind of speaks volumes to his kind of lack of experience with women overall, which is completely fine. My issue and not issue, but something that I'm kind of curious about, I wonder, if you are somebody like YURIY, who's a, you know, quintessential dork and a bit of a lame, which is not a bad thing. It is what it is. We have a position in life we have to play. Why would you care what other people have to say about your relationship and how you treat your woman if she's with you and she's perfectly happy? Why would it matter? Why would you go out of your way to keep, you know, clapping back, responding, clarifying, whatever it may be, when the truth of the matter is this lady has decided to be with you and still be with you because she's into you? Like, why would it actually matter? It really is strange for me. I don't understand this, especially if you're somebody that you would deem to be a dork or a lame. You kind of, you know, maybe hit out of the park, you got lucky. You should be thanking your lucky stars and just focusing on making that person happy. You shouldn't be caring what some random people on the internet are saying about you in general. But I think sometimes him responding is a real clear mark of his insecurities. And obviously, maybe some of the responses from people, strangers online, has some truth to it, which is undeniable, and that's why maybe he's reacting the way he's reacting. Who really knows? Regardless, I'd much prefer it if the dude just relax, chill out, enjoy your time, do your thing, grow how you want to grow, but don't keep responding to people online like this, because if anything, I feel like now, especially the guys on the Reddit, have realized and recognized that Riley's a bit of a soft spot, and the way he acts about, the way he treats her is a bit of a soft spot or a sore one. He gets really defensive about it, and they're just going to keep poking and prodding. And then the fact that, you know, they're in a not so stable financial position based on what they said, people are going to keep poking and prodding. Sooner rather than later, you know, the lady, you know, she's a young lady, she might get ideas of her own to do other things, and then suddenly rifts kind of get involved. And this is the same thing that happened with the guys at No Jumper. They allowed the Reddit to just dictate their lives and kind of, you know, those guys played them like fiddles. They were proking and prodding, and eventually, you know, they made the whole flipping house tumble. So it was like a double-edged sword. They had the ability to interact with the fans, but they also let them have too much say-so into what they did, how they reacted, and what they said and whatnot. And I don't think that's a way to go about things. But again, what do I know? I'm just a random person on the internet. I have no extra news or information on this, so I'll just kind of, you know, leave it where it may be, leave it where it may be. So moving on from that one, I quickly wanted to cover this. This is regarding AD. AD currently has a bit of a beef with Adam 22 because Adam 22 decided in his infinite wisdom to stoke the drama even more by deciding to invite Crazy Car, if I'm not mistaken. No, Slow Car, sorry, Slow Car. I think it's Slow Car. He decided to invite Slow Car back to No Jumper to do some content. I'm not too sure if it's out yet or whatnot, but Slow Car was posting pictures and uploading Instagram stories of himself at No Jumper headquarters. And if you know anything about the history going on there, AD and Slow Car, who's actually his cousin, fell out. And they fell out because of money or something happened, but it wasn't good. It was family stuff. It might be some street stuff, but it was just not a good breakup type of thing. And considering AD and Adam 22 aren't on the best of terms, it's not the smartest idea if you're Adam to go and hire his cousin behind his back, especially if they're going through their own situation. So again, Adam 22, you know, saying that he doesn't want to be involved with drama, and then, you know, not taking responsibility at instigating things, and here he is in the middle of some beef, getting in the middle of family shit that might spill over to street shit based on how angry and upset everybody is in the, you know, in the flipping group of this, whatever it may be. And this is AD basically explaining his point of view and why he was upset at Adam 22 for inviting Slow Car on there, and why he's also pissed off with Slow Car himself. I think it's Slow Car or Crazy Car, one of the others. Let's play it. Oh no, I didn't. Oh, what's no audio, no audio, no audio, no audio. Okay, cool. Let's start again. Bear with me. Sorry, my bad. No audio. I didn't put the thing on properly there. Go again. Fucking crazy. So of course Adam 22, not, you know, not content with demolishing the crew that was really starting to, you know, take No Jumper to the next level, single-handedly breaking it down because of his inability to be managerial and act with some level of decorum as a leader, kind of led to the downfall of the fucking whole No Jumper, and now they're having to reinvent themselves. He wasn't content with that. He wasn't happy enough with that, and now they're actually starting to get somewhere. You know, the new guys I'm not really fond of, but they're starting to get some steam. The No Jumper new show is starting to become, you know, quite popular again. The views are going up. You know, all the hosts are doing their bits. Court is doing pretty decently, I think, over there. Flacco's not for me, but he's entertaining enough on there. Sharp's doing his bit. Almighty Suspect is doing his thing. Everyone's doing their thing. So they're slowly but surely starting to kind of get their feet under the table again. Brick Baby's coming and doing his thing. And just when they're starting to do their thing again, Adam 22 pops up and decides to stir the pot once again by hiring the cousin of a guy who left because of a pretty big disagreement and beef that they've still had and they've not actually got over. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? And I've always said from the beginning, one of the things I think which is kind of hampered No Jumper's success in the long term, because even when it was popping, I always said there was a period in time where I felt like Adam 22 was legitimately one of the best interviewers out there in the hip hop space. And then I realized that the only reason why I said that was because he was one of the only people who actually used to research. You know, outside of the smaller channels, the Montrealities and stuff, he's the only people that really would kind of like prepare questions beforehand, listen to the rappers or whoever person in the culture he's interviewing, previous interviews, and ask some really interesting questions and really dig deep, and you get a really somewhat, I think, interesting interview from somebody who usually don't, you know, do good interviews in general. But then over time, you started to realize that he's not the most likable guy in the world, Adam 22. He's kind of hard to kind of like and to kind of enjoy as a human himself, based on the topics he speaks about, how he carries himself, his personality. He's just not the you know, I won't say warmest, but it's just not somebody that you kind of root for. So when the whole no jumper staff thing happened with the whole conglomerate, you know, House Phone, AD, T-Rail, Smack, Blasi, all these people, I feel like it helped to kind of spread the load somewhat. No pause on that one, but it helped also to kind of have different people you could sort of like, you know, follow under the jumper banner that weren't Adam 22. So if you didn't like Adam 22, then you would actually, it's easy to kind of latch onto House Phone and Blasi, YURIY, and all these guys. But I think for some reason, Adam 22 doesn't realize how unlikable he is in the scheme of like the no jumper universe. I think a lot of people still blame him for the fallout of everybody leaving, even though it's not really totally his fault. He has a part to play in it, a huge part. He didn't expect responsibility for it, but still, he has a huge part to play in this. For some reason, he doesn't understand that he's quite unlikable. If that's the case, you have to bring other people in the front to kind of, you know, host and present the thing, and you kind of play the background role. But then when he does stuff like this, it puts him in the front again, and people are reminded, oh, this is why I don't fuck with no jumper, because of Adam 16, Adam 22, whatever you want to call him. That's the issue at hand here. So it's getting a bit unnecessary. And just in general, forget all that stuff, right? Because I'm blabbering on about nonsense. It's just unnecessary. AD and his cousin have beef. They have some issues. We don't know what the issue is. It could be more than just a money thing. It could be more than just wanting recognition on community. It can be more. We don't know. But they have some sort of, you know, underlying issues going on that are outside of the content thing. If that's the case, and you already have issues with AD, you can't be hiring his cousin. You just can't mess with his cousin. Even if his cousin comes to you, you can't do it. And that's the thing that I don't begrudge. I don't begrudge the cousin trying to go out there and make some money and try to do some content, because the funny thing is, what's his name? I think it's Slow Car, right? He is quite good on camera. He's actually very entertaining. If he decided to actually, you know, do his own content, he might actually be quite successful quite quickly, because he's already got a bit of a fan base building up on the Reddits and stuff. No Jumper V2, and generally he comes across pretty well on camera, so I'm sure he would do well. So I don't blame him for trying to make that happen. Why wouldn't you? But he should be doing it on his own volition, volition. But Adam 22 shouldn't be sort of like sponsoring it. He should be like, nah, I can't mess with you because of my issues with AD, or speak to AD first and then come back to me, or something along those lines. But he shouldn't be getting in between it. And the fact that he is just so unnecessary, personally, for me. And again, this is somebody who runs away from confrontation. He doesn't want to fight, doesn't want to score, but doesn't want to get involved in anything. So he's, again, in the background, silently stirring the pot, getting people pissed off, and then pretending like he didn't do nothing wrong, and not taking accountability for it, and not taking accountability for it. Sorry. So we'll see how it plays out. It's unfortunate as per usual, because it seems like these guys love to stoke the fucking fires of the drama industrial complex. But I guess it works, isn't it? I think someone mentioned it before on another stream. I said that the whole drama thing definitely works to their favor and adding to the view. So maybe this is all a smart play that I don't really get. But anyway, Romualdus, moving on. CMAC is out of prison. CMAC is out of prison, out of jail, and he decided to jump over onto Lush World's channel and have a sit down and describe his infamous fight with Jap5, rapper, who's also currently in jail. And it's a funny account, because you very rarely do you get guys like CMAC being so honest and upfront about losing a fight. And the way he describes it, and the way he kind of breaks it down, it makes complete sense, especially when you consider what Jap5 looks like, and what he's known in, you know, and his reputation for fighting and stuff. So this is CMAC. What does that beer taste like? I see all these LA guys drinking it. What's it called? Old English. Is that like a wife beater type level of beer? Is that like Stella Artois? It looks like it's like, is it worth like $5, $2, $1? What is that like? Is that like a 1 liter tin? That's a huge amount of beer. I see these guys always drinking it. Is it horrible? Is it good? What is it called? Oldie English, I think. Oldie English 800. I've only ever seen it in a, okay, cool. It only comes in a 40 ounce. So he's got it in a tin. It's malt liquor in a tin. Shit. Yeah, okay, cool. So it's definitely gonna get you fucked up, but it's not probably good for you, I'd assume. I would assume. Anyway, let me make this so it can be smaller, because I think my finger's flipping blocking it actually. Or actually, maybe I can, yeah, let me just move this a bit. Bear with me here. On Hoodsters. Let me see if I can get this working. Yeah, there you go. Maybe that'll work. Let's see if this works. Oops, still doesn't work. Okay, cool. Let's just bring this away then. Boom. Boom. That should always be a sign that you should run. If you're ever in a street fight and somebody stretches, somebody starts bouncing on their toes, or they immediately go for like a low kick, like a calf kick or something, or they try and go for an elbow or a knee, or they try and get you in a clinch, that's when you should be scared. Because usually, you know, people that can't fight, they got their hands down, they're just trying to make you flinch and shit. They're going for fucking Deontay Wilder level haymakers. But if somebody stretches and bounces on their knees, starts flipping, touching their toes, you know, doing fucking, what's that thing called? Hitting the fucking knees with the palms of their hands, or goes straight for the calf kick, or gives you a teat kick, or try and goes for the head kick, you know for sure this person trains. Even worse so if they go straight. If they go straight for a takedown, they fake for a right, you go and block, and then they go straight for the takedown and flipping, get full mount, you should be very, very scared. B, if you're CUHMUNITY and you're fighting some guy in jail, even if it is Jap5 who's fucking swole as fuck, right? He's the short guy, but he's really built. He's ripped as hell. Super, super jacked, right? So fair enough, you're fighting him, but then you rush in to fight him. And if I'm not mistaken, Jap5 is like, let's say 5'6" or whatever, right? And if I'm not mistaken, CMAC must be like, you know, somewhere around the 6 foot range plus. And he's a big dude. He looks like he's like 250 pounds. And you're swinging or rushing into this little guy, and then you hit him twice and he doesn't flinch. And, you know, CMAC's been involved in a lot of fights. He knows the power of his hands. He knows usually more often than not, if he hits somebody once or twice, it's usually a game over. You hit the person twice and they don't flinch. That's scary. It's up, innit? But that's a really smart thing to do. If I was from the streets, that's something I would never tell anybody. I would keep it off socials as well. You know, a lot of people, like, when they start doing like Muay Thai, when they start doing MMA, when they start boxing, they're fucking posting pictures of themselves on mitts all the time on Instagram. If that was me and I was training heavily, I wouldn't post jack shit. I'd just be living my life, posting what I'd like to post, fucking around, having a good time, shit posting and shit. But I wouldn't be posting any clips of myself doing any kind of training when it comes to martial arts or self-defense, whatever. I wouldn't do it. Just so, in case if somebody does try you, you can actually surprise them by giving them a beating they'd never, ever, ever imagine they would get. That must be so satisfying. They don't know you can actually fight. They just think you're strong and you're this like big guy. Okay, cool. You might have some strength in you, but they don't know you actually know what you're doing, and you're calm. You're collected. You know what I mean? You're not panicking. Your heart rate's not going crazy high. You know exactly what to do to flip and put this guy or girl down. I would love that. That's actually a clever thing to do, Jap5. He kept that one really, really close to his chest, because I've seen a lot of Jap5 interviews, and I've never heard him mention about his fucking Golden Gloves fucking training or being a legit boxer. I've never heard him mention that, to be honest. So yeah, there you go. The fight happened. CUHMUNITY held his own, even though he got beaten up twice, and essentially gained the respect of everybody because he got, you know, he showed he had heart. You know, he showed he stood for something. But God Almighty, man, that sounds fucking horrifying. I'm not gonna lie. This guy you have beef with on the streets all this time, and then you bump into him in fucking jail, and the first thing he does is squabble groove. Do you know what I mean? He lets you know through the fucking little window in his jail cell that he wants to scrap straight away. You're just there thinking, you know, you're there eating your fucking little yogurt, and this guy wants to jump on you. Oh, mate. I've never been more happier to be a regular civilian. I've never been more happy to be a regular civilian. Moving on, actually, I actually want to check this out because somebody mentioned it. Let me just check it before I actually forget. This thing about the animation. I actually haven't seen this. Let me see what I want. There's allegedly some animation that features your boy. Now, I'm hoping I'm not being painted in a disparaging light. I'm hoping they haven't painted me as some sort of like black mark with like glasses on and shit, and they actually made me look somewhat good. I will have to see. I've got a feeling I'm not gonna like my cartoon caricature, but let's see. This is courtesy of the Fighting the Kid subreddit. It's called The Champ Is Here, TFTB. Let's see what this is about. But I've got a feeling I'm not going to be happy with how I'm being represented here, but it is what it is. If I'm not happy with it, I'm going to lodge a complaint with the police. That's the third thing I'm going to do. I'm going to contact the authorities and I'm going to say, forget about Crystalia. Please, can you arrest whoever made this flipping animation for insulting me and my ancestors? That's the first thing I'm going to do. Let's see how this loads. Here we go. The champ is here. Courtesy of the Fire and the Kids sobered it. Let's see what I'll go on for this. Let's see what I'll go on for this. You see Rogan's head? You see Rogan's head? Holy shit. You see Rogan's head? Look at Rogan's head. Oh my god. They even got the scar from his fucking hair surgery. Hair transplant surgery. Fucking no, this is so good, man. Whoever does this, man, honestly, you are so talented. That is so cool, the level of detail he puts in. This is fucking incredible.
And then chase them.
Doc, give me some good news.
I'm sorry to tell you, Mr. Rogan. We can't find a suitable donor. I just don't think...
Listen to me. I'm not paying you millions to fucking think. My biological clock is ticking. The HGH and TRT can't handle the levels of sheer violence required by my body anymore. So, unless you are one of the 50 untrained people in the world who can beat me in combat, you might want to rethink your answer.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, it is done so well because of fucking AI, right? Amazing. Fucking it legit sounds like him.
The odds of finding a suitable donor candidate meeting your criteria are basically zero. On top of it all, he needs to be either...
Oh shit! That is so sick. That's me. Look there. That is so sick. I'm not gonna lie. That's actually quite cool. Oh, you know what he's got? You know what he's got? He's got the fake book cover that I think Ariel has. If I'm not mistaken. Isn't that the fake book cover Ariel has? Ariel's got the same fake book cover. No, I've got to take a sprint. I've got to take a print screen of that. Oh, that is so cool. Big up you who put this together, man. You're an absolute legend. I'm actually happy with my caricature. I'm not going to lie. I actually look semi-decent here. Oh, this is so good. Wow. Big up Jordan Ray for the heads up, man. So cool.
They're clinically brain dead or wants to gargle your balls enough to volunteer for this experimental surgery. Sorry, but a man that impossibly redacted simply does not exist. Mr. Rogan, are you there?
Yeah, and big up Trisha G for sharing in that Discord as well. Big up Trisha D. Big up Uche. Big up Trisha D. Everyone that shared this, big up. Oh, this is amazing. I wouldn't have seen this if that. I don't know why. I always skip over the fucking pinned comments because I'm always, whenever I go on a Reddit, I'm always flipping, searching it for new. I'm not sure if you guys are the same. I always have it stuck on new. So I don't ever see the pinned comments sometimes. I just kind of scroll by them. But yeah, big up.
Book me in for Thursday.
Four days later. Float lab technology. Client 2, client 1. Can you imagine, honestly, can you imagine the amount of work that goes into doing this? I did my fair share of illustration, animation back in the day, right? My fair share of drawing, my fair share of painting. It's not easy, you know. It really isn't. Even if you don't think this animation illustration style is any good, which I think is fucking amazing. I love this fucking style. It's very unique. It's very distinctive. This takes a lot of work to put together. The music, the editing, the shots, like, this is a lot of work, man. The amount of talent that's kind of spawned out of that fucking sub is so fucking hilarious. If only that guy, that massive redact, could embrace some of this. Imagine the stuff that he could make legitimately for them. Do you know what I mean? Get commission and shit, and that they could use and put out there. But again, those guys.
Once again, I must make it.
Oh my god! Oh my god! They've got the guy, the fucking UFC physician, I think, who Brendan described in You'd Be Surprised as being Asian as shit. But when you heard him speak, he's basically has better English than fucking. He speaks English better than fucking Brendan. That's fucking brilliant. I recognize him straight away.
Absolutely clear. This procedure is 100%.
Yeah, exactly, Crash. Worst pain in your life. Worst pain in your life. I can't even do the fucking accent because I'm not racist.
Irreversible. When you wake from this process, for all intents and purposes, you will be Brandon Schwab from this day forward. And he, Joe Rogan.
Hold on. Let me see that.
You will be Brandon Schwab.
Attributes: redacted strength. Glorious, the heels have eyes hairline. Good height. Adonis fucks jigs.
From this day forward. And he, Joe Rogan.
Someone said originally, when I remember I spoke about the nipples, that allegedly the nipples are like a sign of like nipple play, if they're like that pointy and stuff. Some dudes, I guess mostly gay guys who are into that sort of shit, or people that just like nipple play, say that that's kind of the telltale sign, fucking around your nipples and whatnot. I don't know if that's true. You could just have really long nipples. That could just also be the case. But I remember people were saying that initially when that picture of him in the tank going in initially leaked. No, not leaked. He put out there the video of him going in the tank. But again, who knows?
I believe that kid every time I saw him. I look like a violent person.
Mr. Schaub, sorry for your time.
So I did 7 hours on an elliptical machine watching the bathhouse. I went crazy.
This is so well done. Wow.
Back to my fighting state, that person came out. He's built like a fucking Adonis, the size of my hands, and like there's the width of my shoulders. He's a beautiful man. He's like 6'5". I'm built like a warrior. Most likely a lot of violence in my history, in my past.
The funny thing about this, right? This morphing of Joe and Brendan, is that in real life they mic. It was so good. Amazing. The UFC doctor playing.
Well, Tom, we're here live at the All Valley MMA tournament in sunny Calabasas, California, where it will all go down tomorrow at 8 p.m. Pacific, and we will be crowning a new ultra heavyweight champion.
Yeah, that's right, Dave. And of course, the huge news is the shock return of the giant killer, Brundon the hybrid Schwab, coming out of retirement for one last tilt at the goal. And I've got to say, he's looking even more redacted than before.
Careful, Tom. He'll light you up, B.
Say less, B. But no, seriously, he looks fucking gormless.
Thanks, Tom. Well, that's it from us, and we'll see you all back here tomorrow where a new champ will be crowned.
Here he goes, he emerges from the hybrid of Rogan.
Hello, freak bitches.
Oh wow. To be continued. Official competitor.
To the boys in Tobago. Keep one eye open.
Directed by the Cheeto Finger Hater. So he doesn't even take credit for whoever does this. It's just in an anonymous name. This guy or this person, whoever it is, you are fucking amazing. The Bryan Callen fucking toe hold sandal here, just for me. Fucking horrible, but I love it.
For the plane close, I need more leg room for the plane up.
Oh my god. The animation of Brendan sticking all these four fingers in his mouth to lick the fucking stained off his Jordan 5s. This was even made more horrid than the image. Because if I'm not mistaken, before this happened, before he started licking his fingers, he was smelling his fingers to check if there was like shit on his shoe, I think. So he smelt his fingers, see if there's shit in it. Then the same fingers he touched the shit or whatever that was on his shoe, he then stuck them in his mouth and tried to clean it. It's like
Lagos, styled it down when a man need favours. Transatlantic to me flavours. Might chuck the chick down in Vegas.
Bonjour to the birds in France. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? One love when I'm in Jamaica. I pass Magnum when I wine and dance. German whip with a German.
What is that? Gorilla Strength? What's that? CBD? I don't know what that is.
In a German chick while I'm out in Maine. Place to meet out there in the beach chairs with the chick ass.
Oh my god, not the pissing in the sink. No way. Hey Howie, you understood it was a kitchen sink, right? You understand? Beast of a dad mug. So good. Chin's lunch. This is so good.
Just I'm global, running up numbers, money man mogul. We don't chit chat, we ain't vocal. We shit packs out doing up postal. I can't talk. Shake hands with the locals, network and we don't mean
baddies, dig juice, baddies. Oh. Big up BGL wherever he is, man. Wherever bridge that guy's hiding underneath. Big up BGL, because that was a legendary fucking arc or saga of that fucking whole story, man. God almighty.
Social, steps out in Italian sway. They tell a man pray, go and tell up total.
Rogan's nipples played by Tom Cruise and Danny DeVito. Love. Wanted, the flip-flop fugitive. Face of Bryan Callen. Free to a good story. What's that thing called? Various items. House. What's that? Housemate wanted. 3-bedroom apartment close to transport. Oh, okay.
Breaks to serve up in the night time. Now Mr. Worldwide wanna pull up that girls wanna jump in.
A Dorado. Honestly, the detail. Look at the animation for the Ferrari logo. A Darafi. Honestly, this guy or this person, whoever you are, you're fucking amazing. The Rafi. This is actually a good logo to go on the fucking hoodie, you know. This is really good. Again, if that giant Redac had any kind of sense, he would make this into merch. That is a fantastic. The Rafi.
Into the car and ride. I must apologise, I don't really have time to chat and threaten us with a threatening mind.
Oh, rubbing the legs. Oh my god. What's that? Diddler's Folly. I don't know what that is. Tiger Thick, Diet Coke, all the flipping nicotine patches everywhere. Can you imagine what their studio smells like on a daily basis? I guess it's okay because if I'm not mistaken, the T-Fat-K studio is in like a office studio complex thing, and they all probably have cleaners that come and, you know, clean it up every day after they finished. But can you imagine what it must smell like on a daily outside of that? Katina Carnivore, the food truck on the outside is fucking awesome. Look at the donut shirt with the donut bussy shirt with the juice spilling, with the, you know, with the jam, let's say, oozing out. It's so good. Next day like NGANNOU versus Schaub, battle of the best brains. John Africa versus Luke Rockhold. The pronunciation, Frank Mir versus Fabiano Badano. Alex Pereira versus Steve Rockhold. Honestly, John Africa. Who the fuck is John Africa? He just went quiet. Honestly, man, that was fucking brilliant, man. Honestly, so good. So happy I seen that, man. So amazing. Glad I fucking saw that. Glad I got to see myself pictured for once in a good light. That was absolutely amazing to see, not gonna lie. Big up that animation. Where is it? I think it was toward the start, wasn't it? Around here. Like, big up. That was fucking awesome to see. Look at that. Look at your boy. Your boy's on the big screen. Your boy's on the big screen. Big up. Appreciate it. That's fucking amazing. So cool to see, man. Oh, let me get some tissue, baby. 1 second. Oh, God. That's fucking awesome. I'm not gonna lie. Oh. Anyway. Continue on with the show. So, what you got to talk about here? Let me think. Oh, yeah, that's it. Come back to my list of stuff. So we spoke about the thing concerning the animation. We spoke about CMAC. Now we can move on a little bit to Schaub. Let's see what Schaub has to say. Schaub was sitting down with with China Mac, and kind of spoke a little bit about the whole no jumper fallout and whatnot. So I'm just going to play a bit of what he says, and then we can continue, and I'll give a little bit of my sort of thoughts on it, because I feel like Schaub has approached it from a quite mature, grown up point of view. To be fair, he has been the one who's been, oddly enough, the least emotional. He's kind of treated it for what it is. I think he was one of the first people to kind of call out AD for leaving the way he did, and kind of, you know, not just looking at it from the business point of view, and basically thinking, hey, what was a real issue really? Could we have kind of fixed this to kind of make sure that we kept it going and whatnot? And he offered up some very interesting points of view on it, which I kind of definitely agreed with. So I'm going to play a bit of the clip here from the China Mac interview so you can get an understanding of what I mean and how he approached this, and then we continue.
I know you wanted to talk about it a little bit, so I feel like I'll bring it out for you, you know?
I mean, not too much, but I just want to see where, because I want to see more than the bullshit. I want to just see where you feel like, you know, the future of the you know, no jumper is, because you're a big piece of it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just curious as to how you feel about that. I don't really want to know about, you know, all the shit we already know.
Like, I always like to push positive, and I feel like I have nothing but positive things to say about the people that I worked with before.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I always want to give them their flowers, no matter what. You know what I mean? Like, and acknowledge that.
That's respectable, and that's and I feel that's genuine. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like that's cap as you saying it.
I wouldn't even bring it up. I'd just make little any windows and say little subliminal, little weird shit.
Yeah, and just entertain it. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
be
that's
weird.
Some bullshit. I ain't trying to be on that. Like,
I love how he says innuendo, any windows. Pretty cool.
I loved all them niggas and still love them. Everybody that I worked with, homie, it was a hell of a motherfucking ride. There's not going to be a lot of people in the world that's going to be able to experience that feeling.
Right.
Of being with a super team and like having the entire layout. You know what I'm saying? There's a rare few. It's gonna feel that throughout this time, bro.
Right.
To bring a group together. Yeah, nigga can get on 1 or 2 people. That's easy, right? Like if you can move it, you can do it, you know?
Right.
But when you gotta move an actual unit, you got 6, 7 people that, man, all stars, top.
He's right, to be honest, but that's also goes to kind of back up my point as to why I don't understand some of these people that have these platforms, why they don't just hire somebody to manage the talent, like a producer, like a talent manager. I don't know what the term is, but there's definitely a term for somebody who just manages the on-air talent, who makes sure everybody's looked after, needs are met, whatever concerns they have, they can go to. So you're not only going to the founder, because for some reason, I think there's this tendency for founders of platforms to also think they can be managers or they can be like leaders in that regard when they're not really the best. You maybe, you know, Adam22 was the guy that kind of birthed the idea of No Jumper. It was his kind of genius idea to have this platform, interviewing young up and coming rappers, the SoundCloud generation, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Over time, it kind of transformed into this other thing that it is now. But then surely if you've got all these different personalities who have their own show, have their own point of view, then you maybe need people to kind of manage them on a day-to-day basis. And I think if that was the case and he had like a bit of a buffer between himself and the talent, there could be a way to kind of fix issues, because I think, you know, many organizations, you have issues all the time, but sometimes you just make it work because the manager that you report to or the person that you is kind of the person that you kind of go to when you have your issues is cool and you get along with it. It happens all the time. So I feel like if that was the case, they could have maybe held on to it and it would have been a bit of an issue. But the fact that Adam22 was a founder, was also one of the hosts, was also one of the employees, was also a friend, and then he did what he did to AD in terms of talking about him and his position with another employee that then leaked out into the Reddit and then gained legs of its own and went wherever it went to. That's when it kind of went a bit weird, because in general, if you're a leader and you're an owner, you should never be talking to other members of staff about other members of staff. It's just not what you do. You just have to, you know, not do that. You have to speak to other members of management about that sort of shit. But when the lines are blurred, that's where the issues come. So I feel like if they would have had somebody in between them, I think they would have been able to fix it and hold on to it, and kind of just figure it out and kind of ride it. I personally think so, because I don't think the issues were as deep as they, you know, purported, especially in the beginning.
Stars. Everything we touch is gold. That's rare, man. That's rare. That's rare, bruh. I know by experiencing in life, you know what I'm saying? Like what's rare and what ain't. And that was fucking rare. That was a rare time. That's why I think I was sad to see it go.
Me too.
You know, I was sad to see it.
And it's nice he says that, to be fair. It's refreshing, because everyone's shitting on Adam because Eads is shit on Adam. And because he has a lot of, you know, for lack of a better term, there's a lot of things to shit on him about because he didn't deal with it the best. And, you know, I think in general, like I said, the fact that he's not likable in the first place, the fact that he refused to accept responsibility, and in my opinion personally, I think the thing that really probably didn't sit well with fans and just people in that room or that building alone, the first thing, the issue I think that never was really addressed really, and they tried to and it didn't really work out, was the whole house phone situation. I think the house phone situation is what made a lot of people really wary as to Adam and how he moves and shit, because it showed, rah, if Adam's doing that to house phone, who's like somebody he deems to be like a friend, you know, not like a colleague, not some industry person, like somebody actually known for a number of years, then he can do that to anybody. And it set the alarm bells ringing, especially when you think about all the passive aggressive stuff he was saying on the pods, about bad podcasting, about being annoyed that they were bringing up drama on their own platforms. All these little subtle things were happening, and it was kind of like a culmination, a build-up of issues until, boom, suddenly it all kind of spilled over. But I definitely think that house phone situation is definitely what sparked a lot of people and got people worried.
Here you go, bro. I really was. Like, it didn't make me feel happy. Like, oh, yeah, hell yeah. Everybody like this, I can take over this, I can do that.
Hips are handy, man. If you're filming yourself having sex and going on the Calabasas Fight Companion, there are many things wrong. Okay, fair play. To be fair, the porn man side of him, it's never really bothered me. It's just annoying when he always talks about porn in some way, shape or form. You'll find a way to mention it. But the fact that that's an interest that he has or a job that he does that's also very lucrative or whatnot, fair play, do what you want to do. But it's just the fact that he would always find a way to kind of crowbar in some fucking porn topic during the shows that used to kind of really piss me off. Like, fuck, you know, enough of this shit, man. Leave me alone. Please, I'm bored.
Yeah,
Well, I understand why it
Nah.
went there, but I didn't want to see it go like that.
Hell no. Hell no. Like, I don't give a fuck what the naysayers say, anything. Like, they tried to, I could tell, like, with just certain, like, comments and just people that was moving, like, they was trying to, like, they wanted us to separate. Like, they wanted the segregation. Like, yeah, like, it's time to take this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the comments, man, that shit was crazy. Like, everybody, like, yeah, this is the move. Sharp, you ain't going either. Sharp, you ain't gonna leave. You need to fucking go. Like, I'm like, bruh, I'm not making moves based off of what the fuck somebody say. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, accept me or reject me.
I don't blame the fans for saying that though, because I think a lot of these content creators, I don't think they see, which is fine because they're the one making the content, but I don't think they see how people see them. So I think a lot of fans look at these guys and just believe they're friends or believe they're kind of family, they're a crew. So when something happens that shows you that they're not really as close as you thought they were before, it kind of makes you look at all of them a little bit away. You know, you're like, huh? I thought you guys were all cool. And it kind of ruins all of their kind of perception or image in your head, really and truly. And then you start to decide and pick who you want to follow. That's essentially what happens. So they kind of lean into the we're friends, we're cool thing for the promo, for the meantime, for the views. And then over time, they then, you know, something happens, the relationships break down, and then it works against them. So it can work for them for a while. They can also work against them when the relationship kind of breaks down. So I don't think it's a bad thing that the fans were, you know, trying to get in the middle of it or deciding, because in their eyes, they kind of viewed them as, you know, a content version of fucking Entourage, right? Do you know what I mean? That's what they were kind of looking at in real time sort of thing.
You know what I'm saying? If you fucked with me before, like, you should be still fucking with me now. Like, shouldn't nothing change because I didn't make certain moves.
Right.
That's weird to me, bro.
And then to carry on with that, I also think with the Adam 22 thing, I think just because of how he did House Phone Dirty, and then it kind of carried over a little bit to AD, somewhat to Lush, and even look at the situation with Riley. The way Riley got fired, if that was me and I was working there, I'd be flipping a bit worried, right? Because Riley was like a background, behind the scenes person, girlfriend of YURIY, right? And then the story goes, according to her, that she goes up to Josh and Adam and says, hey, I want to pursue other things. I may want to go into hairdressing, whatever it may be. Maybe to get extra money, maybe just to transition because she was maybe feeling a bit stuck. Who knows? They say, no, don't do that other stuff. Don't go and start a course or start an internship or whatever. We're going to give you more money so that you don't need to do the other stuff. And we kind of, you know, we really rate you. Stay here. She stays, and then unlucky for her, the following week is when all the fucking beef happens and everyone kind of leaves. And then I guess there's not enough money coming in, so they can't pay everyone's wages, so then they let her go. So she told them of her ambitions. She kind of, you know, shot herself in the foot that way by telling them anyway. Tried to do the right thing, and it kind of worked in her disadvantage. And she had nothing to do with the drama. So if that was me and I was working there, I'd be a bit worried. Like, oh, if they can do that to Riley, imagine what they're going to do to me. And I think in general, just the way he acted with people, I think that's what made people think, hey, Sharp, why don't you jump away and step away? Because of how he treated AD, how he treated House Phone, people just assumed that more likely than not, Sharp will end up having the same situation with Adam because he seems to have it everybody. I think that's the only reason why people are saying that, to be completely fair. Kind of in a weird way looking out for him, which you don't need to do because he's a grown man, but I think that's where it's coming from.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's weird to me. This ain't no soap opera, nigga. Like, this shit ain't scripted where, like, it's set for everybody. No, this shit really happened.
Yeah, for real.
It really happened. Like, shit was real. It's not, okay, well, we're planning for everybody to leave next week. Sharp, you'll be on the roster as one of the leavees. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Like, the script has changed.
Like, yeah, the script has changed. You'll be the one that'll leave too and all that. Like, there wasn't no motherfucking script, nigga. That shit happened in fucking 48 hours.
And I also don't blame him, because if you remember the clip I showed you before, Sharp, if you believe him, which I do, he's no reason to lie, he mentioned during the Las Vegas trip that he got his lowest check from No Jumper that same time they were out there, and I think it was like $8,400 or something dollars. So if that's the case, it doesn't surprise me that he was so bummed out when it kind of ended the way it ended. because he was getting to some really serious good money in the process, having fun with people that he liked and who he deemed to be friends and whatever, you know, compadres and whatnot. It makes sense why he was bummed out about it, and he wanted to kind of try and hold it together, and he got on the phone with AD and tried to talk him out of quitting, and then Pun did what Pun did and came through and said nah and started to make that a bit of an issue. But I understand why he was kind of, you know, bummed out about it, to be fair. Because if you start touching like $10,000 per month off of the back of no jumper alone, you know what I mean, I would fight for that shit too, you know what I mean?
72, it was the shit.
Right. What was the pressure? Like, how did you feel, man? Like,
bro, I be having a lot of answers to a lot of shit. And that day, I didn't have nothing. I didn't know what the fuck to say. I'm sitting there in shock, nigga, like, whoa, this shit's on fire. You know what I'm saying?
And it was at a high point for you too.
Nigga, this shit is on fire. I just got done doing the fucking blue
The
face.
blue face shit.
Man.
Oh,
and
man.
shit just went up, man. Like we just hit the internet strong for the beginning of the year. And my plan was, I said, we gotta swing out the gate this year. That was my plan. I said, we gotta get ahead of everybody. We got to get ahead of the fucking breakfast clubs. We got to get in because people are about to get the drink champs. Love them to death. But I know in the end of it all, like in this game, that's our competitors. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, shit, we got to get ahead of this shit. And I was like, fuck it. Let's do the Blueface interview. And then fucking Krishan showed up, homie, and it was just the perfect storm. I said,
so Krishan wasn't supposed to be there.
She was not supposed to be there. It was not on the fucking sheet that day, on the call sheet.
So what happened?
Can you imagine doing that legendary Blueface and Krishan interview where she spazzed out, like she always does, but imagine it did decent numbers on there, right? In the hundreds of thousands, if not more. And then the following weeks later, all the drama happens. Can you imagine? The highest of the highs, lowest of the lows. Like, this content game is mean.
In that day, man.
Sheer greatness. It went terribly wrong, I guess, for it to go greatly right.
Right. Did you get a chance to speak to Krishan and them before, or like it was just?
I didn't get the chance to speak to. Well, I did because they were doing the music video. I was actually my set.
Anyway, you got a gist of it. Schaub spoke really well, I think, in this interview. You can check out the entire interview here, courtesy of Mac Talk. It's available on his channel here, uploaded just recently, the other day, so definitely check out if you haven't already. Although China Mac is a little bit annoying, and you know his personality has changed considerably since he's moved out to LA, which is definitely again proof that LA definitely does corrupt people. It definitely does break people. It just turns you into a weird person. He was never like this before, but maybe he was. Maybe that's who he was deep down. But I still think he puts out semi-decent content, aside from when he's kind of, you know, playing up for the cameras and shit. I think his streams are really entertaining. He's quite a funny guy anyway himself, but it has been a bit of a trip to see how different LA China Mac is compared to how he is when he's back home in New York. He's really, really changed, like super duper changed. But, you know, maybe living in Entertainment City or the entertainment capital of the world, you kind of have to do what you have to do in it. So who knows? Moving on from that, let's talk about this. Oh yeah, it's about this. Cool. So let's go to this one. So this is a video taken from the T5K subreddit, and it features REDBAR. And it got me thinking in general about Crystalia. And it got me thinking about whether or not anything's actually going to happen to Crystalia, right? In terms of criminal charges and shit. Or if it's just going to be a constant non-stop barrage of women coming out sharing their story. Because a part of me thinks, is he really going to get in trouble for this? Especially if he didn't actually commit an actual crime. I'm not too sure, you know? That's a real bittersweet, or that's a real kind of shame of this whole situation. Clearly, there's a whole trail of victims who have been hurt, abused, manipulated, whatever it may be along the way, or just him acting like a douchebag with people. But is it enough for somebody to get charged with a crime? I'm not too sure. I'm really, really not too sure. But it's interesting to see that after the last Rolling Stones article, so many publications here have picked up the story. I just typed in Crystalia's name, went onto the news on Google, and you've got an article here from the Daily Mail, Paste, obviously the Rolling Stone, Cinema Blend, the AV Club, Los Angeles Times, Cracked, which is a comedy platform-based one. You've got Entertainment Weekly, Pajiba, Insider, all covering the story of Chris D'Elia. So it's definitely something that everybody has definitely seen. If you haven't seen it, you're definitely lying, because it's definitely there, especially if you're a comedian out there, you know what I mean? And they're trying to act as if they haven't seen it. But the funny thing is, someone like a REDBAR was talking about this stuff from ages ago, and no one really gave him any attention, thought he was a flipping crackpot and whatnot. But he was spot on with a lot of the stuff he was saying about these guys. This kind of, you know, he's speaking a lot mostly about Bryan Callen, because I think REDBAR's always had his kind of, you know, his spidey senses on with Bryan Callen. He's always kind of called him out for being the, you know, the weirdo that he is sometimes. But in general, he was right about everything, wasn't he, REDBAR? He really was right. Like him or lump him, he definitely was right. So let's play this video, and he says,
yeah, there's a lot of people out there that, like, they only care about, like, technically, did he do anything wrong? Did he do anything illegal? I don't care. I know when a man is crapola. And I disliked this sneaky, gross, shitty, phony, actory Bryan Callen since the beginning of time.
You know what's funny also? You made a good point there about not caring about the legality of everything. That's the other thing that's really confusing about some of these comedian guys, especially the ones that have daughters or whatnot, right? You think to yourself, like, they have no ability to, like, distance themselves from somebody based on them just being a crappy person. If they're good for views, they're good for clicks, as long as they're friends or they make money together, it doesn't matter. But there's no real, fair enough if you don't have a principled moral stance on things, they just don't even have a, like, preference thing. Like, you know, I'd rather not hang out with somebody with this accusations around them. I just don't like the cut of your jib. I just think your personality is toxic, whatever it may be. That never really applies, especially when it comes to the Brendan thing. It's like, so you just want to find out, because I think that clip of before of him on Busting with the Boys, he just wants to be presented with evidence as to the crimes that D'Elia's done. If not, then he's not listening to it. But then you're like, hold on, aren't the stories and the allegations and the accounts from all these women enough to, like, turn you off? Just even if you don't think he's guilty, just the fact that there's all these different people around the country saying the same thing about this person, isn't that enough to be like, nah, I'm good on you, I'm gonna keep my distance? It all has to be like evidence. It all has to be like court stuff, you go into jail, and then I can make my decision. It's like, come on, brother. Sometimes you walk into a coffee shop and you don't like the barista just based on how they fucking handle the cup. But these guys have no ability to make that same quick decision about somebody based on various detailed accounts that have been corroborated by other people. It's quite interesting, to be fair.
If you're attracted to a man like that and you want him back, what is going on in your life that you need him in it? What is going on in your life that you need Chris D'Elia to come back? How did you fall in love with these two in the first place? Shame on you. And can you snap out of it? What, did you buy a t-shirt? Now you don't care if they slice a woman open and eat their rectum? Because you bought a t-shirt because you saw them live and they took a sneaky fake picture with you and fake smiled? These are actors. Both of them. They don't care about you. They care about money and getting their cocks sucked. That's it. They're sick sex, addicts. Yes. And Chris D'Elia is going to say everything that I've always said about him. And, you know, I'll tell you this. If you cheat on your wife, if you cheat on your fiance and you're 40, you're terrible, okay? Who won't you lie to? Who won't you lie, cheat, and steal from if you do that to your own family?
Now, the funny thing that I had about this, he's not wrong, of course, but my general conclusion from this has always been that the refusal of a lot of these guys to come out and say anything mostly makes sense in some ways. Because as much as this is disgusting, whatever it may be, if you're genuinely friends with these people, I think, a hard time being okay with publicly coming out and dunking on my friends just for peace strangers on the internet, however crazy that may sound. But my only caveat with that would be, The only time that I would find that acceptable is if it involved kiddie diddling shit or rape. That's when I know I have to flipping come out and say, look, I don't fuck with this person at all. But anything else, you know, the whole kind of wanting the friends to make comment and shit, it doesn't really make any sense because you know it's not really true. They're just saying it to appease people. They're probably still friends with them behind the scenes, or like Brendan, they're still be friends with them in front of the flipping camera. They're still standing by them, making money with them. So that whole trying to get comment from the friends and stuff and have them publicly distance themselves from the guy or the girl, whoever it may be, is just a little bit. It's all theatrics, it's all virtue signaling, and it's all done just to kind of posture and make people appease people online just for the sake of appeasing them. But it's not actually rooted in anything. The other side of things is I think a lot of these guys and girls have done or are currently doing far worse than Adalia. And I think the funny thing about it for me was that I always assumed, and again, maybe I'm just like a redact and I'm a big pussy in that regard, but I always assumed when the first round of cancellations happened, when Chris D'Elia got hit, when Bryan Callen got hit, when Brendan got exposed, all this stuff was happening, I just assumed those were like warning shots that life gives you. Life gives you a warning shot, you get called out, and you kind of fix up your ways. But if anything, it didn't make them stop, because we've got various accounts of Chris, you know, with people and stuff, who basically said, I think even in Rolling Stone's article, it basically said that video where he's like, you know, looking sheepish in the camera, like, hey guys, it's been a while. I just thought, and if nothing was sheepish, there was girls in that Rolling Stone's article saying that he was still texting them during that whole entire time. So everything that happened beforehand wasn't enough of a wake-up call for them to change their ways. So if that's the case, if those people who are getting cancelled and getting covered everywhere and all this pressure on sponsors to drop them and deplatform and blah, 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 losing deals, right, losing Netflix specials and all this stuff, if those guys didn't receive the wake-up call when all that shit was happening, the people around them who aren't involved are probably doing far worse or even doing the same thing at the same time. So their refusal to come out and say something makes a lot of sense. They don't want the spotlight to be kind of, you know, cast across to them. They'd rather just like, you know, pretend like they don't know the guy, act like he doesn't exist, make some jokes here and there, and kind of just like stay out of it in general and hope that they can continue getting away with they get away with. Because I'm, unfortunately, not to be like, you know, what's that word called? Not to be like negative about it, but I also don't think he's the only one. I don't think he's like the only monster. I don't think he's the worst. I think there's people far worse than him. So I think it's a kind of unfortunate part and parcel of working in that industry, especially if you think about stand-up comedy, with it kind of occurring mostly at night, in nightclubs, essentially in bars, nightclubs, that kind of scene, with it being somewhat a bit of a meritocracy, a little bit, but not really, a lot of connections and favors. There's opportunities and avenues and spaces there for monsters to exploit, manipulate, you know, and just be pieces of shit to people in general across the board, male or female. So I'm not surprised that this is happening, and I'm pretty sure there are more cases of it happening on the daily all the time. So that's probably why a lot of those guys don't do anything, because they're probably the ones doing it, I would imagine. So it goes to show, innit? But with it, whether or not something happened to Chris D'Elia, I don't know. I really doubt it. But it looks like there's been a lot more pressure press-wise to say and cover things this time than it was before. So maybe it's different. Maybe, who knows? Who's saying to me in the chat here? Eddie D said, REDBAR and NGANNOU are the only two shows I listen and watch anymore. I'm jaded from all the comedy podcasts being the same talking points. Yeah, I was saying earlier before, thank you for that recommendation, endorsement, my friend, Eddie D. But I was saying, I think that's the reason why I think those guys like Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast and a few other people, I think that's why they're winning, because those pods are just straight up funnies. They're not trying to be political. They're not talking about COVID. They're not fucking talking about Ron DeSantis and shit. They're just fucking doing the funnies. That's all they're doing. They're sharing funny stories. They're taking the piss out of each other. They're talking about things in culture, but that's it. They're not trying to be super political, super whatever. They're not talking about the same old boring shit. Even if they do speak about comedy, business stuff, it's in an interesting way. I legitimately think if you've got a show out there now and you're in the flipping LA comedy podcast, Jerry Extended Universe scene, if you just focus on just making a funny show, you're actually going to win. if you actually focus on funny and don't go for the same old boring tropes, or you're not purposely, because I feel like a lot of these guys also, I don't know if you guys feel it sometimes, I feel like a lot of these guys are like auditioning for Rogan in a weird way. They're trying to talk about topics that they know Rogan would like, and then they clip them, put them out on social, hoping he might see them, so he might invite you on. Which means you're probably going to be talking about cultural war stuff, politics, whatever, right? That's what you're going to be talking about. Cancel culture, because that's the shit that he loves to speak about all the time. So it kind of makes the content a little bit shitty. But if you're focusing on the funnies, and you get, again, someone mentioned Theo is a good one. You've got Theo's like guests he's getting on are incredible. Before Theo, and actually Theo's a good example. Theo's had a run now of getting in some really high level, super amazing guests. But before this run, Theo was interviewing like binmen and shit. He was interviewing people that work in funeral homes, some guy that's a rat exterminator and stuff, and those podcasts were fucking hilarious. They were super good, super informative, really interesting to check out. And you know, again, he wasn't interviewing anyone famous, just regular guys working fucking regular jobs and shit, and that shit was super cool. I really enjoyed it. So it goes to show it's not always about the guest and the comedy special promo run thing. It can still be interesting in that regard. And that's why I think even something like Are You Garbage, that's why Are You Garbage is doing so well. Personally, for me, it's got its little niche, it's got its little thing that it does, you know, in terms of the themes and what they're speaking about. You know, you're going to get a different type of interview, a different type of conversation from whoever goes on it, and it's usually they hit it out of the park. The one I listened to recently was one with Joey Diaz. That was really entertaining. I find them, all those things, really, really cool. So I think, even though, like I said, I understand what Eddie D means about being jaded, weirdly enough, this is also the perfect time to actually double down on just the funnies if you've got a comedy podcast, and allow all the cultural war stuff, because it's tiring and it's boring, personally. But yeah, I'm a big fan of those guys. Moving on from that, we have this to talk about. This is a response. So this looks like a response from the person called, was it Jazzy? Okay, this is Jazzy, right? Oh no, this is Jazzy. Okay, cool. So this must be the person that I called a whore, I think. So I do, I guess, somewhat apologize. I think in the beginning, yeah, I've actually got it. I think in the beginning of the Rolling Stones article, there's a person here featured who's one of the prominent people. Yeah, this is a person, JAZZMYN WOLLFE. I think this person was the one I called a whore because, if I'm not mistaken, she was with her partner. Oh no, they're separated, but she was living in the same house as her husband or ex-partner, I guess, separated, but they were living together because of the sake of the daughter. And because she was alone and vulnerable, she started texting comedians. And then she went and licked the guy. No, and then I think she sent the guy a fucking video of herself fingering herself the first day they started contact. I was like, dude, that's weird as fuck. So I'm guessing other people have felt the same way about her account. I'm assuming that's why she replied in the iPhone app reply thing that we got here on the screen. So let's read the response here and see what she has to say about the whole thing. So this is courtesy of the Chris Lear Uncensored subreddit. So it said, what's this? It trigger warning, essay, I guess, sexual abuse, eating disorder, sexual violence. So, in light of recent responses to the Rolling Stones article, there are a few things I want to further explain. First, I want to make it very clear, I didn't know Chris was in a relationship. He made it seem like it was a one-off thing, that he got a girl pregnant. Not once before. Yeah, that's true. That sure is a good point, though. That was what he was trying to do, wasn't it? Because I didn't even know he had a girl, literally. I didn't know that was a thing. He never really spoke about it on the podcast. He kept that stuff, I guess, somewhat private, but he didn't even allude to it. So when it was known that he had someone pregnant, I just assumed it was some random person from the road. I didn't actually, think it was somebody he was actually in a long-term relationship with. So a lot of these guys are like this. They have a secret relationship, and then they go out on the road and do what the fuck they want, I guess. Madness. Anyway, that he got a random girl pregnant. Not once before I found out for myself would he admit to me that they were in or had been in a relationship at any point. It wasn't as though he was talking negatively about his partner. In the first months, he adamantly denied any form of relationship. I'm 28 now. I was 25 when Chris and I began seeing each other. I was also not married at the time. My husband and I had split up. We were merely living together. Yeah, but that doesn't make it cool though, innit? Like, I don't know. Not that it makes it cool. I'm just saying, if I'm going through a tumultuous relationship with my partner and we have a kid at home, the last thing I'm thinking about is getting my dick sucked. Like, that's just me personally. I guess people are different. Maybe in that moment, you're actually more vulnerable and you need somebody to actually kind of take your mind off things. I get it. But you have to also understand from strangers' point of view, from people that don't know you and aren't involved in this, it looks a bit weird that the first thing you do is go and reach out to a comedian, and then you're going out. And then in the first day, if I'm not mistaken, that Rolling Stones article, let's actually read it. I swear she like sent the guy a nude the first day she contacted him or something. Let's see here. Yeah, Jasmine Wolfe was visibly uncomfortable sitting on the driver's seat of a car in an open parking lot. The 20-year-old looked around and drew a quick breath, glancing at her phone perched on the dashboard, recording her. Awaiting a reply on the other end was comedian Chris D'Elia, who Wolfe had instructed her to send over an explicit video of herself in public view. That's the opening fucking paragraph. Wolfe had only seconds to comply. She didn't send over the footage fast enough. She knew he'd become furious. She had already told D'Elia that she wasn't comfortable being in plain sight or passerby. D'Elia says she didn't care. Though she says didn't care. Minutes later, a nervous-looking Wolfe stares into the camera while wringing her hands. It doesn't matter if I'm feeling sad or if I'm feeling pouty. It should have been about you and I'm sorry, she says in a November 21, 2022 video review by the Rolling Stone. Wolfe claims that the apology was scripted by D'Elia, who was angry that she dared to push back against his request. The two had met in March 2020 when Wolfe, responding to D'Elia's Instagram stories during the early days of the pandemic. She was familiar with D'Elia through the sitcom Whitney and recently finished the second season of You. Cooped up in her home in Canada and recently separated from her husband, who was still living with for the sake of her young daughter, Wolfe describes needing a distraction, and a one-off message to an attractive comedian seemed harmless. Within minutes, D'Elia responded. Wolfe says the conversation moved to Snapchat. By the end of the day, D'Elia requested a nude photograph. Wolfe obliged. So she didn't know this guy from Adam, DMs him and then sends him a nude within a day or the same day. I'm sorry, but if you're not involved, that's a bit funny style. Now, no one's saying that what he did to her after the fact was, acceptable or was right, but reading as a stranger, not knowing this lady, you're allowed to say that's a bit crazy. That's a bit nuts. But we go back to the statement. I've been called stupid countless times because I entered into this situation and stayed with him. I was very vulnerable. Come on, man. Okay, anyway, I was very vulnerable spot when I met him. I was fragile, I was naive. In retrospect, I made a terrible choice in reaching out to him. Of course, that's the truth of it. But this is like when DSP said he did the whole wanking in front of the camera thing because his girlfriend broke up with him. It's like, come on. Like, okay, I guess so. But anyway, let's continue back to the next thing. I felt safe with him. It felt safe. Imagine Chris D'Elia making you feel safe. That's how you know this guy's a manipulative piece of shit, innit? That degenerate makes people feel safe. Anyway, next page. It felt okay, but it couldn't have been further from it. If this was me now, I wouldn't give him the time of day. What people don't seem to understand is that the control didn't happen all at once. He incrementally implemented these rules and ideals slowly so that the red flags weren't glaringly obvious. Okay, so she's saying she was in a vulnerable position. And Chris basically exploited it. He kind of sensed her weakness, which again is so fucking sick, innit, in a way. Because I think I asked it before in the last stream, some way, in shape or form, I don't know how this is possible, but for some reason, predators and creepos like Chris always seem to attract girls like this. But in this instance, this girl reached out to him. You know how weird that is? Like, you're vulnerable, you're in a weird place, and the last person you need in your life is a Chris D'Elia. The last person you need is someone like that, right? You don't need to have someone like that in your life when you're going through a breakup, when you're separated with your husband, but you're living together, you have to look after a young child, struggling with a job, with a career. The last thing you need is to come across a Chris D'Elia. But somehow you reach out to him and he senses your weakness, your vulnerability, like a fucking demon, and fucking, latches onto you and doesn't let go. Horrible, isn't it? Fucking horrendous. He began to make semi-degrading comments, but he would frame it as purely a kink thing. Or like saying to her, like, she looks like shit, like, so he'd be negging her in a way, I'm assuming, right? Eventually it bled into our entire relationship. I was constantly told I didn't matter. That's a Brendan line. That's a Brendan Schaub line. It simply do not matter. That feeling, my physical and emotional pain, came seconds to his pleasure. I wasn't allowed to talk to anyone about him. So he was my only confidant, sorry. And if it was about him, I was out of luck. He started telling me that if I was to say no to him in any way, he would ice me out. He says he wouldn't keep a girl who disobeys. And I remember that being a message I saved, he made me unsave it, stating he wouldn't want anything creepy to be kept in the chat. So he's deleting chats, he's removing things, everything's sent in the fucking auto delete fucking message, the control, the manipulation, fucking hell, what an absolute horror show. And again, this reminds me again why he was so quiet and disappeared for so long. Because like I said previously, if I don't remember if I don't remember my law correctly, I'm pretty sure I do. But I'm sure when Chris started out, he was kind of safe. Sorry, what was it called? He was clean, if I'm not mistaken. He didn't swear. I'm sure that's the thing. He was clean, and he had this kind of persona on stage where he was kind of goofy and acting like a teenager when he wasn't, right? To me, I never really liked Chris D'Elia's stand-up specials because he had that weird inflection in his voice. He would kind of speak like a child, like a toddler. I don't know why he did that personally, but it could have been another kind of weird thing to kind of, you know, signal to girls out there and shit. But I never liked that shit that he did. I thought that was really cringe. But I thought because of that image he had, when it came out that he was into this dark shit he's into and that he potentially might be a bit of a, you know, bit of a diddler and shit, it was such a clash. It went such against how he was presented or presented himself, you know, himself on his content that, you know, it could basically expose himself to everybody that he kind of couldn't come around to like being in front of people again, knowing that they knew his secret. That's what basically was the reason why he went quiet. Not because he was ashamed of what he did. He was more ashamed that we all knew his secret, basically. That's why he went so silent and refused to do anything for like a year, I think, when the first allegations dropped. It continues. He acted as though he was doing what he was. He acted as though he was doing what was for our benefit, tracking my location because he couldn't be there to look out, having me dress a certain way to keep me safe. And again, at the point I was at in my life, it felt nice to have somebody seemingly taking active interest in my well-being. God almighty, man. There's people out there that just need a lot of just not even love. They just want someone to feel like they give a shit. Fucking hell. That's the sad bit about it, innit? There are people out there that just need someone to make them feel like someone gives a shit about them. Not even sexual. Do you know what I mean? Just somebody gives a shit. Of course it helps if you're attracted to them, fair. But they just want to feel like somebody gives a shit. Fucking hell. And then you end up in the fucking snares and the spiderweb of this fucking awful dude. Anyway, then over time, this evolved into a level of control and ownership that I never would have signed up for in the beginning. But step by step, he got desensitized. Step by step, you get desensitized, sorry, which is something highly skilled manipulators know how to do very well. Chris began holding money over my head. I was depending on his promised monetary assistance. And since I had received financial help in the beginning, it seemed likely he was truthful in that regard. On 2 additional occasions, he would pay me cash in order to help with my travel expenses. Oh, no. So he offered her money, then he took it away, then he started dangling it over her head. Fucking hell. That's awful. At the point, I'd lost all of my friendships, pushed away my family, and he made me feel sometimes by telling me verbatim that he was all I had. You hold on to that person and thought you knew in the beginning, and you'll die. You do anything to get them back to get back to that. This kind of sounds like another version of like love bombing, you know, when somebody goes really crazy, meeting the first person for the first time and like dropping I love yous and shit. I need you. You're my world. Blah blah blah. It feels like a version of that, innit? That level of manipulation, like coming out the gate super hard, to kind of have like a hold on them straight away type of thing. It continues. If it was physically abusive, which it bordered by eliminating the option for consent, nobody would sit here and say, why didn't you just leave him? And even though he never struck me more than a slap, the fact that he slapped, oh, Jesus Christ, I was afraid for my safety. I guess maybe the slap was kink, I don't know, but still, a slap is still bad. It doesn't matter if he didn't hit you with a closed fist. That is still bad. But again, see, that's manipulation. She's doubting herself and basically convincing herself that this wasn't a big deal. Anyway, I was afraid of him but I was also terrified of what my life would look like without him. There were many times when his sexual interests and requirements made me severely uncomfortable. He detailed to me how he wanted me to make him pass. Hold on. He detailed to me how he wanted to make me pass out while giving him head. He said he would make it so that I couldn't move or breathe until I passed out. When you had physical encounters, he would hold my head down. I'd be afraid that I wouldn't be able to come back up. He was typically very aggressive, aside from a time or two yelling at you if you didn't immediately do what he said sexually. He claimed over and over that he owned me, that my body was his, or that my body was for him and his pleasure alone. Did you guys, again, be honest, because I didn't know this, but did you guys have a feeling that he had this dark energy in him like this? Or that he had this kind of level of kink or this level of interest? I would never have guessed it. Before the allegations, the Crystalia you knew of, like being a silly goose, the is it though? That Crystalia, did you guess it? I didn't guess it. I'd always think he was weird about the whole like being completely stone cold sober and not doing any drugs or drinking anything. That always made me think a little bit, a man with no vice is somebody he shouldn't really be trusted, especially the way he used to like boast about it and act like he was better than people because he didn't drink or do drugs. That made me look a bit funny, but I would have never guessed he was this dark. What are people saying? People saying, yeah, damn right. Brandon said, damn right. Teshuski, look at his eyes. Fair play. Megan said, mega fan say full of dents. Yeah, method acting. Coiler saying yes since day one. Bruh, he gives me the occult vibes. Okay, Cloud K. Maybe it's me, I'm naive. I'd never really saw that. I thought it was weird that he didn't have a vice, but I never thought he'd be this dark. He admitted to all this during the 10-minute pod. Okay, cool, I didn't know this. Yeah, Pastor Diddler, Pastor Diddler vibes. Yeah, it's just plain coercion, not consent, of course, yeah. Oh, yeah, true. Good point, Collar. Definitely good point, innit? Youth pastor vibes. He does give that, innit? He really does. Creepy youth pastor vibes for sure. Come back to the room. Let's do Bible study. Come to my house to do Bible study. Help me with this. Help me with my outfit. Opens the door in a fucking bathrobe and shit. God tells me I have to pray for you, womb and something, and touches you down below. Maga. Continues. It was for him to me, and that he once he was doing something to me and he snapped when I actually got into yelling. This isn't for you. Focus on me, he said. He created his hierarchy within his relationships, with everyone competing to be his favorite. Okay, this I can see. This I can definitely see. Do you guys remember the crew he used to hang around with? I forgot what he used to call them. There was that guy called One Fire that he used to always talk about in his podcast, and a few other guys. Oh, there was that guy that I wish I remember his name. I think he's like an Italian dude that he used to have in his crew, who was kind of complaining. When the first allegations came out, everyone was attacking him because I think the allegations came out that he was setting up the girls for him and shit. So I remember when he had that crew of guys he'd hang around with, you got the feeling a lot of those guys were trying to be his best friend. They were jostling to be his best friend. And even now you get the feeling like Brendan basically, by paying Crystalia's money, he basically leapfrogged Bryan Callen. Now Brendan is more Crystalia's best friend than Bryan Callen is, even though Chris has known Bryan for longer. So Chris definitely has this ability to make people compete for his love and friendship and shit, which definitely isn't just like, reserved for the ladies. Definitely see the fellas also doing it. Continue anyway. Chris played a lot of mind games and trying to push into a state where he was only the person we trusted, the only one we could talk to. Although plenty of subjects were off the table, he'd threatened to leave if we brought them up, i.e. Charlie, a girl I had connected with on Reddit, who was already seeing Chris when the first wave of allegations came out. He didn't want us to talk because, as we came to learn later, he was feeding us both very different narratives and he didn't want us to figure out the truth. He pitted me against her, making me believe she was stalking me, intentionally setting the same tattoos as me, buying the same clothes as me, trying to harass me and my family, monitoring my social media, when really Chris was orchestrating all of it. Fucking hell, man. This guy's a sicko. This is what I mean. Like, all of this stuff, I guess, in some ways, isn't exactly stuff that can land you in prison. Cool. But if this is me and this is my friend, I'm sorry, we're not friends anymore. I'm sorry. It's not that difficult. There's plenty of other people I can find who could be my friend who won't do this type of shit. If I find this out, do you know what I mean? That's the thing that's weird to wrap my head around with these comedy guys. None of this stuff is probably enough to get somebody locked up. I understand this. But still, are you comfortable with this guy hanging around you and your wife, your sister, your mother-in-law? Like sister, like really nieces, nephews? Are you fine with this person being cool with you? Like come into your house and shit? Not for me, bruh. Not for me. Anyway, it continues. I wound up discovering that he was picking. Let's go to the next slide. He was picking out his girl's tattoos as well, while claiming to me that he had no idea what she got done. We had no autonomy. No choice in our hair, makeup, nails, clothes, tattoos, body shapes, where we went, what we did, who we saw. Yo, this is very, very creepy. I don't care. This is super creepy. This guy's meant to be a married man with a baby, by the way, right? And he's running all this entire scheme on the side. Yo. It was all dedicated to Chris. Seeing that Charlie was in a 10-year relationship with Chris that began when she was 16 and ran up until last year. Pedo. There we go. Pedo confirmed. Even if that's the legal age, what age was fucking Chris at the time? Even if that age is legal in that state they're in, what age was Chris at the time? Probably 30? A 30-year-old going out with a 16-year-old, especially a 30-year-old looks like Chris D'Elia. He's always looked 30. Even when he was 25, he looked fucking 30. That's pedo confirmed. Holy shit. We were both hoping that she would participate in the Rolling Stones article, but with growing fears of what Chris would do in response, she pulled out and the article had to be rewritten from a different angle. You see what's funny about this? What can this guy really do to these girls, really? He can't really do nothing. But the manipulation and the mind control and the way he's broken them down as people has now had long-lasting effects to the point where they're legitimately afraid of him when he really can't do anything to them, to be honest. There's nothing he can actually do. Like really and truly, he's not that powerful, but he's made himself powerful by the levels of manipulation and control and coercion, all this fucking evil shit all over time. And that's what it is. It's fucking evil. Legit evil. And this guy's meant to be the silly goose on stage and shit. And here he is on the side, destroying all these women's lives. Fucking hell. He subjected myself and many other girls to severe emotional blackmail. It was classic narcissist abuse. Just because the tactics are textbook, that doesn't mean they aren't effective. People who are emotionally vulnerable, unfortunately, are at higher risk of falling under narcissistic control and into abusive situations. It was not merely the threat of suicide when we would try to leave, but the threat of punishment, the statement that he'd find us, and the concern of that what he would do in various aspects of our fucking now you'd be threatening to self-expire himself. Oh my God. Lives he was involved in the sinisterly embedded idea that he would do nothing to live for beyond our relationship with him, all of which that made it so incredibly difficult to walk away. If you were compliant, you were rewarded. The reward was simply him not being angry with you, calling you a good girl. Isn't this what fucking Bryan Callen says? Good girl. Making you his favorite and not giving you an additional punishment. Punishments threatened were more public and or vulgar consequences. He would have you masturbate in public, pee in public places, vocally say his name during masturbations within earshot of other people, masturbate in vehicles with other people, painfully insert objects or artifacts, deep throw a toy until you either puked, bled, or were cut off by physical limitations. He would have you piss on your own face. Oh, fucking hell, man. if you're a Crystalia fan still now, you're defending the guy, I have to look at you weird as well. I have to just assume you're into some sick shit and you might be a diddler and you might be a pedo. Simple as, I'm sorry. If you're making excuses for this and you're a fan, anyway, continue. He would have you piss on your own face, would piss on articles of clothing, force the person to wear them, have them defecate on the floor and film it for him, make them perform sexual acts on his friends or strangers. Jesus Christ. These are all things I either learned firsthand, he told me about, or I discovered through getting to know other girls who were in relationship with him. Chris and I discussed on multiple occasions the fact that I struggled with an eating disorder in the past. He took active interest in my weight, asking me for my measurements. Originally, I believed this was because he was monitoring my recovery, until he began to make comments about wanting me to be thin. When my digital scale would be put into an underweight category, he would tell me how hot I was. He would compliment being able to see my bones and muscles. With his encouragement, I dropped over 20 pounds to the lowest weight I've ever been. I was using incredibly dangerous methods to drop weight fast. I had severe anxiety about eating fast food, knowing he was monitoring my whereabouts. So I guess he would see if she pulled up to In-N-Out and shit. Oh, God almighty. As time went on, I was told I needed to respond to him immediately, that there was no excuse for a delayed response. So I remained in constant state of anxiety, not knowing what he would demand of me at any given time. I was admitted to an intensive, I'm guessing. I was admitted to an intern at any given time. I was admitted to an inpatient facility for my anxiety, depression and PTSD as a direct result of what I endured with Crystalia. I felt responsible for his happiness. I was constantly afraid of him doing something to himself, as I was often told it would be my fault if he did. He wanted me to live for him, to be willing to do anything to make sure he was taken care of. And for a time I did. I don't know that I'll ever be the same after this. Bloody hell, that breaks my heart. It has taken me months to rewire beliefs that he had deeply installed in me. And to this day, I'm still working on healing and finding peace in the situation where I've never received acknowledgement or closure. Oh, God almighty. Yeah, I got no words. Fucking hell. This guy sounds like a legit demon. Fucking hell. A legit demon. And these guys still ride for him, still defend him, still sit next to the guy, make money with the guy. It's just, I don't know. Again, maybe, who knows? Maybe there's more to it. Maybe they have information that we don't have, but I just couldn't understand. I just couldn't look at you the same if I heard this. If I just heard, I couldn't look at you the same. Let alone get on camera and pretend we're friends and joking and laughing around. Like, I couldn't look at you the same. I'd be feeling a bit uneasy. Be like, yeah, what's going on? Like, are you cool? I'd be like, nah, I'm not cool actually. I found out X, Y, and Z. You know, it will be something you have to speak about. You couldn't just let it lie. You couldn't just say, bring the evidence. Where's the evidence? Where's the bruh, are these accounts not enough for you? There's like more than 10, plus whatever else we've had before with other people saying stuff. Because you have to imagine too, there was many victims that came out and said stuff initially, but they all got shamed out of it. Because this is the part of the law people don't speak about. Do you remember when the first allegations came out? Yeah, and big up what's her name? JAZZMYN. Big up JAZZMYN for posting that on the Reddit. What's her name? Yeah, JAZZMYN Wolf. Big up JAZZMYN Wolf, man. Sending you an e-hug wherever you are. But do you remember when the first allegations came out? The law people forget is that the Crystalia fans were like hounding the victims online. I don't know why this was the case. This is why the Crystalia Uncensored subreddit started. Because for some reason, the Crystalia subreddit was full of people defending him, saying he did nothing wrong. The girls reached out to him first. She was, you know, that age is legal in this state. He just likes to fuck a lot. He's just got a sex addiction. It's not that deep. Like, this was the thing. Do you remember? That was an actual thing. Like, people were legitimately defending him. And the fans were fucking hounding out the victims. So a lot of those girls and victims who initially made statements deleted all their posts and shit, or the accounts, and kind of, you know, ran away because they were getting hounded out on social media. So there's probably way more victims that we don't even know about who just don't want to you know, say anything because they don't want all the attention and people coming after them and whatnot. So, wow, what a fucking crazy update. Absolutely crazy update. Again, not sure what's going to happen going forward. It's not looking good. Obviously, optics-wise for him, clearly. But I don't know if it's actually going to make a difference. That's the absolutely sad, unfortunate state of affairs. You know what I mean? Like, what's it actually going to do in the real world? I don't know. That's the only thing. Hoping something would happen, but I don't really know what's going to happen here. What are you guys saying in the chat? I'm sure it stands for... What are you saying in the chat here? AZ Jelly. AZ wants to be Finn too. What about Chris D'Elia? I'm not jelly about Chris D'Elia. No way, brother. What are you guys saying in the chat? What are you guys talking about? Chris Hansen. God has nothing to do with this. Someone should be checking the backyard for bodies. Yeah. Oh, man. But anyway, continue. The funny thing, obviously, from the back of this has definitely been the response from Chris, because allegedly everyone's saying now that this episode of Golden Hour was filmed around the same time that the article dropped. I'm not too sure if that's true, but I want this to be true. But most likely what happened, journalistic standards dictate that when someone puts together a piece like that he put together on Rolling Stones, they usually reach out to you and say, hey, do you want to add comment? Because these people are saying this about, and you can decide to not. And most of the article, he didn't respond to the comment. So this could be true. But I'm also pretty certain he knew the article was coming out. I don't think it was the first time he saw it was on his phone. He definitely knew it was coming out, so he had a knowledge of it. But maybe just the stark reality of like getting all these messages from his family and friends and wife and shit is what he reacted the way he did. So this is episode number what? I don't know. Episode number 24 of Golden Hour, and Chris D'Elia in the corner here. Just watch his face as he kind of checks his phone a million times, because clearly something happened and he got some sort of message that wasn't great.
Oh God.
Or a fat dude's ass. What do you got, Nick?
Ew. It changed the whole
entire time. Is really trying hard, super hard, to just carry on and be funny. Like he's trying to help his friend out. It's like, brother, like this is not the time, this is not the place, just do your jokes. But he's like trying to get Chris involved, looking over at him and shit. And you know, it's a podcast. You're not meant to be checking your phone as much as these guys are on there. But I don't think they actually enjoy being on this show. These guys, I think they just do it for the money. Clearly, they kind of want to be anywhere else but that. But the constant checking on the phone should be a bit of a red flag that, you know, you're not engaged. But yeah, it's just funny. Just keep watching, Chris.
I want you to stop.
Everybody was like,
I want you to stop.
We were all eating Lizzo out, and then he had to go to. And all of a sudden, you had to make it fucking weird.
Golden Hour, you know, rocking that life ribs.
Look, dude.
Yes, okay, his attention. Look at the face as Brendan taps in to look at the screen. He knows it's going dark. Look at his face.
Member of the
Hell yeah.
Bite Club.
The fake enthusiasm.
But Eric Griffin.
The eyebrow raise.
Since the beginning. Or beginning of me. But anyway, I have a debate club for you guys. Adults
the
who
eyes
like
scanning
Disney,
the room. Look at it. Checking the phone again.
Asterisk. And don't have
staring
children.
at it.
Pedophiles.
I have been a Disney person.
Well, you probably don't want to say that around Chris D'Elia, really, do you? I think that's why he immediately started chewing the side of his cheek. Brendan, come on, he's so redacted in it. You probably don't want to, you know, use those words around Chris.
Since I can remember.
You want to take that back?
And have annual passes. Don't have kids. But have that
Ooh, I love those.
in my office.
From the Haunted Mansion.
Debate club.
I mean, being like a Star Wars collector is
Still
a
on his
similar
phone.
type of thing. I mean,
you're a loser.
You know, you go to Disneyland, you go to Disneyland. I mean, I get it.
No, bitch.
And, you know, he's on his phone a lot on this show, but if you scan across the entire episode, you'll see he touches his phone way more than he did previously. So this for sure was the time that he was getting pinged. Can you imagine the texts you're getting through on your phone at the same time this is happening and shit? He's probably frantically texting the girls as well who are in the articles. What the fuck are you doing? You betrayed me. Go film yourself jacking off right now. You know, all that sort of nonsense. Absolute creepo, bro.
I'm there with my kids. She's clogging up all the rides and these bitches, no kids. It's for the kids, man.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay. Have you gone to an amusement park with Callen?
Yeah, we went to Disneyland.
Again, there's not much that can come. There's not much to give victims this. What's that word called? Comfort, right? That's what sometimes I think to myself. Cancel culture can sometimes work because if you can't get justice in the courts, at least you can make the person publicly humiliate them, and you can make them squirm, right? You can fuck up their day. That's like a weird type of gratification. It's not going to do much really, especially if you suffered how these people are saying they suffered. But if there's some level of gratification you can get from this, is knowing that this day was fucking hell for this man. Do you know what I mean? He was really going through it. Like, really. Look at his face here. Like, twitching all over the place. Like,
okay.
Meth addicts.
Have you gone to an amusement park with Callen?
Yeah, we went to Disneyland. And
Did he like the roller coaster?
Yeah. And
that
must
too
be
small
crazy.
for it?
No,
What's
he
he
doesn't
doing?
do the roller coaster. He liked the little ones, you know what I mean? We didn't do the
right.
fast ones, but the little
Yeah,
ones.
the tomato.
He gets
like,
him a little
spinny
scared. A little scared, but he just kind of.
Yeah,
You know what I
because
mean?
he's thinking, you know.
Oh, I
Callen's
fucked
thinking.
up last
I know he's thinking, shit, my dad's a pedo.
night. You just remind me. I let my son. He was like, Dad, he likes shark movies. I was like, have you ever seen 47 Meters Down? He's like, no. I'm like,
We don't care about you.
No.
Disneyland right there.
Disneyland.
Let's move forward.
Done with them.
Look at
The Cars roller coaster's lit.
Okay, that's the screenshot I need. That's what I need. I fucking need that screenshot. Fuck that. Let's improve the quality a little bit. I need that screenshot. Fucking no, that face. Holy shit. He looks like a fucking cat. Or like a fox or something. Like a fucking pedo fox. Let's see this. Let's get this up on here.
Right. Yeah, so they've changed it all. So I'm done with them.
Look at those.
The Cars roller coaster's lit.
Man makes Carlo Ancelotti look like a fucking stud. No, we need to get hold of that. We need to get hold of that. Let's get one closer in as well. Look at his face. Look at Brendan. Oh shit. Patreon's about to get hit. Meal tickets done. Fuck. Won't be able to make the payments on the Porsche anymore. Fuck. Might have to give back the Ferrari. Fuck. Might have to downsize again. Shit. Because let it be known, this is the main reason why he latched onto fucking Crystalia, which is smart from a business point of view. Shitty thing to do, but business point of view, Brendan made the right choice. He jumped onto Chris, became his best friend, right? And he's been on him since, especially since Theo's left. He needed somebody to kind of replace, because no one does Theo numbers anymore. There was a period in time where Theo would, come. Do you remember there was a period of time when Theo was on King of Sting? He'd jump in here and there and do like a guest appearance, and his episodes would be like the only ones that got like 100,000 views, because Theo fans would just watch anything that Theo does and whatnot. And he's obviously got a big, huge fan base. But Crystalia, for some period of time before the allegations, he had the similar effect. He'd come on the front of the kid, boom, the views will go up. But ever since those allegations hit, it's been a wrap. It's been a wrap. And Brendan is there. That's the face of somebody looking at their meal ticket, looking at their fucking cash cow, going through it and thinking, fuck, this is going to be a bit of a problem, innit? And this is Chris thinking, my future's on the line. So I love the contrast here. One person's thinking, this is the end of my career, legitimately. Any kind of second wind I was having, recovering from allegations, is gone. And I'm definitely not going to I'm definitely not going to be able to perform the Comedy Mothership anytime soon. And this is him just thinking, shit, I'm going to have to like hold off on the exhaust install. I'm going to have to hold off on getting the fucking Bugatti. That's the only thing he's thinking about. Shit. I have to start slinging some more Tiger Thick.
Dude, there's this movie that Disney has out. Rachel wanted to watch Peter Pan and Wendy. Mm-hmm. It's so funny, dude. So it starts with this mid-century white family. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, oh, okay, Disney. It's like you're going old school because the whole family's white.
Anyway, we don't care. Eric's talking shit. But yeah, look. It's not real, it's not much payback. It's not much justice, really. I'm sure most of these victims want the guy to be under a prison or something, but at least you got him. At least you got to see him squirm a little bit and have that fucking weird contorted face. Oh, that was fucking amazing. He legit looked awful there, mate. What a weirdo. Let's move on from that one. Let's talk about this a bit. Let's speak about this. So, back to back. Yeah, let's do this clip. This is a clip from the Fighter and the Kid subreddit. It says you gotta come from some sort of truth when you're making fun of somebody. This is an incredible little compilation somebody put together. Big up the user, I think his name is Air Pumper, who put this together. This is fucking awesome.
Got to come from some sort of truth when you're making fun of somebody, right?
Chris D'Elia he's the embodiment of the dark arts, and people know it, and he knows it.
Chris D. Why does that name sound so familiar? What does the D stand for? Disturbing? I'll tell you what's disturbing, Chris D.
Diddler.
New Year's resolution for Chris D'Elia. What do we think?
I say throw your phone in the ocean. Change your facial hair and throw your phone in the ocean.
That's actually good advice, you know. That's actually good advice from Big J Orkerson, as Brendan would call him. Throw your phone in the ocean. Clearly, the DMs, the Snapchats, and the perpetual looking at his phone all the time was a big concern. Actually, you know what? Thinking about it, wasn't Chris D'Elia always on Twitter? Always searching his name, always reacting and replying to shit. We should have had our eye on this guy from the beginning, because someone that searches their name that often and is always in the replies is definitely up to some fucked up shit. He was noticing people clicking like on his pictures and DMing them instantly. Didn't care if they were fucking 26 or 16. Madness.
Chris Hansen here of Hansen versus Predators. To catch a predator and have a seat with Chris Hansen, and I'm going to need you to have a seat right over there.
Every time I see Chris Hansen, I can't help but remember the story of him scamming Theo Vaughn. Do you guys remember that? Theo Vaughn. I can say this name wrong. Theo Vaughn. Do you remember that story of Chris Hansen scamming Theo? Going to the hotel and ordering loads of room service and then running off on the bill. Legendary scam, man. That was like fucking, these entertainment Hollywood type people are fucking all scam artists, isn't it? Absolutely shameless that he did that. All on Theo's card. I'm pretty sure that's the story. That's why they don't talk anymore. He scammed him out of money. To be fair, I think Chris Hansen was going through a tough time. I think he was going through that. Did he get arrested or something for something? He got arrested, child support. I don't know. Something happened to Chris where he was struggling for money. And I guess, you know, he needed that room service. He was actually hungry. And he ran off on it. Absolutely amazing.
He wasn't some bearded, long-haired white guy. Whoa, Chris, you spooked me there, is what those girls said.
We're still climbing out of a pandemic, Chris.
They all knew. They all knew.
Flattening the curve, not reaching out to inappropriately aged women, asking for pictures, text messages.
Johnny Depp has a fragrance called Savage, pronounced Sauvage.
It's a good joke.
If Chris D'Elia had a fragrance, it would be called Underage.
This girl's a savage. I love that. Honestly, I don't fucking care. I think she stumbled a bit. The meow kind of put her off, but that was fucking brilliant. Underage. You see fucking Eric Griffin's face, I think. Hopefully they got Eric Griffin's face here. Look at Eric trying to be upset. Bruh, Chris is only your friend because he got cancelled. That's a funny thing about these guys. Honestly, I'll tell you this before. If what happened to Chris D'Elia and Bryan Callen happened to Brendan, with the exception of Bryan, I don't think Chris would have stood by Brendan the way Brendan's trying to stand by Chris and be a good friend. He wouldn't have done it. He would have said, see ya, and went straight to Hollywood, continued filming Transformers, whatever he was filming at the time, and continued keep on keeping on. And he would have definitely been nowhere near Eric Griffin. Eric Griffin was the one that was left aside. No one really cared about him too much. And then when everyone's struggling for guests and people to come involved, he was the only one available, they pulled him in. So they're only his friends because of necessity, really. They don't, like these guys are kind of cutthroat that way. He was never the first choice of anybody. He kind of just was the only one left around that didn't get cancelled or have allegations around him. So, hey, he was decent when he came on the show. So the fact that he was trying to have this like stiff face, like, oh, you can't say that about my friend. He's not your friend, bro. He's not. I promise you he's not your friend. I promise you.
So clean up your act. And if you can, well, I'll let you go this one time. but you're not going to get a second chance here. Life choices, son. Life choices. I'll be watching.
Like, I'm doing better this year than I was last year. Fine, whatever. Oh, really, dude? Everyone's getting in trouble for what they say and what they do and not who they.
And the fact that that "oh really dude" clip comes from him ranting about people thinking Pizzagate, the whole pizza cafe thing, whatever, and you know, pedophile rings is not true in Hollywood and shit. That's a funny thing. That clip of him saying "oh really dude" comes from him ranting and saying that he can't believe people are so gullible to believe that Hollywood is involved with, you know, pedophiles and all that sort of shit. It's funny how that things work out.
They are, and that's a problem. Is it though?
I'm Chris Hansen. You know why you're here. I know why you're here.
Yeah.
It says right here you want to do this, that, and the other thing to a 13-year-old girl named Susan.
Oh, me? Oh, for sure, yeah.
What about a 14-year-old named Beth?
Yeah.
A 12-year-old named Beth.
For sure. And I know it's not much and it's not long ago. I know he's always looked old, but he definitely looks way more weathered and way more, you know, like now than he did before. I know he's always had an old face. He's just got one of those old faces. Bryan Callen was actually quite right about the joke. If he didn't have hair, he'd look horrible. But he definitely does look way more disheveled now than he did beforehand. He looks fucking gaunt and shit. Do you know what I mean? Like to that point. To the point where you would debate if he was doing drugs. I don't think so, but you would debate. You know what I mean?
Betty.
Who are you telling, bro?
The vast majority of women who find themselves in that situation are desperate, threatened, or victimized in some way that makes them vulnerable.
Yeah, I know. And you get...
I need to find out. What is that hair metal song? What band is that? She was only 17. I need to see that. I need to find that fucking song. What song is that? What lyrics? Who's got a song? What's that? Metal? What's that? Say metal song. She was only. It's gonna fuck up my algorithm, but hey, she was only 17. Lyrics. Who the fuck does this? Winger 7. Oh my god! It's actually a song. Winger. Winger Diddler. Yeah, okay, Winger Diddler 17. Track 3 from the album Winger. This is what these guys look like. They kind of look like Crystalia a bit as well, right? Hair metal band. Fucking hell. The opening bar. And yeah, I saw sparks fly from the corner of my eye. When I turned, oh, it was love at first sight. I said, please excuse me, I didn't catch your name. Oh, it'd be a shame not to see you again. And just when I thought she was coming to my door, she whispered sweet and brought me to the floor. She said, I'm only 17. I only show you love like you've never seen. She's only 17. Daddy says she's too young, but she's old enough for me. Oh my god. You white people are fucking sick. We have R. Kelly, but you guys have 4 R. Kellys in a band. Come to my place, we can talk it over. Oh, everything going down in your head. She said, take it easy. I need some time. Time to work it out, to make you mine. And just when I thought she was coming to my door, she whispered sweet and brought me to the floor. She said, I'm only 17. You ain't seen no love. You ain't not nothing like me. Yeah, such a bad girl. Loves to work me overtime. Feels good dancing close to the borderline. She's a magic mountain. She is a leather glove. Oh, she's my soul. It must be love. She's a leather glove. I don't want to know what that euphemism means. I don't want to know. She... Oh, yo, this is horrible, man. Horrible, horrible, horrible. But yeah. Yeah, Crash says 4 R. Kellys is a cool band name. Exactly, 4 Kellys. I I believe I can diddle. I believe I can. No, let's not go that. Let's not continue that one. Let's not continue that one. Let's not continue that one. Holy shitty mother crappy balls. Okay, cool. So what else we'll talk about here? We spoke about that. We spoke about him. We spoke about. Oh, let's talk about. Let's see this a bit. So have you guys seen this? This is another edit again from the Friday Night Kids subreddit. Big up you guys. It's called Papa and the CEO's cover, Francis and V Dana, and it's by a person called SOREGONBIRD. Oh, is this the same person that did the song? The guy that was like, you're redacted. That guy, is that video still around? That guy's a fucking legend. Is he still around? What was his name again? Sorry, what's his name? Redacted. That T-Fat K stream. What is it? Is he redacted? Is he around? Someone got a video of it? Is that? Oh, that's his username on the Reddit. Okay, cool. Because me not recognize it. Oh, what's his name? Oh, I don't know. Sorry, go on. Let's see. Is it T-Fat K? Is he gonna be on there? Let's see. T-Fat K. Let's see if he's on there. T-Fat K. Was it Sorry, Oh, there he is, right? Yeah, there we go. I just want to see the redacted part. The Fire and the Kids subreddit, Trug Song Walker creator. Oh, is this him on the live stream? Let's see what he's saying here. Let's see what he's saying here. Oh, his name is South Oregon Bird. Big up Seth Pollock. He calls himself South Oregon Bird. Okay.
By popular demand, we bring to you the redactedness of SOREGONBIRD. Oh, I'm sorry, South Oregon Bird. My bad. For those who do not know him, he's the guy who created the Drug Walk song and is the...
To be fair, that's a good claim to fame. I know some of you guys think he's a dork and he's a little bit cringe, but that's a good claim to fame. Some of us die without any, any sort of credits to our name, right? Any sort of achievement whatsoever apart from being able to be a functioning adult. The fact that he's going to go down in history as the creator of the Drug Walk song, that's something to be proud of. I'm not going to lie. Because every time I see the word Drug Walk, all I think is, I can't talk. That's the only thing I think about. So he is a bit of a legend. He went platinum in the streets. He went platinum in his Reddit streets.
Self-proclaimed legend of the Fighter and the Kids subreddit because he matters and everyone else doesn't. He believes everyone should worship him because he created the grounds where all homeless cats walk and apparently need to bow down to him, so you better recognize B. Hailing from the ghettos of Dallas, Texas, the dude who claims to be trolling for hours on end with the same shtick and arrogance, I give to you Annie Letterman's stalker, the guy who many believe is the love child.
Really? Is that true? Or is that just a joke? Is he actually stalking Annie Letterman? Her luck is awful, isn't it? She gets a Drug Walk from Brendan, and then she gets the Drug Walk creator, in her DMs every day. Fucking hell.
Of Sam Tripoli. Ladies and gents, please give it up for Mr. Drugwog himself, SOREGONBIRD. I'm redacted. Bobby Lee, roll the goddamn footage.
Because he's controlling. And
hey, BGL's back. BGL's back. I wonder what he's doing right now. What do you reckon BGL's doing right at this very moment? In the gym, chilling out, reading. Like, what's the deal with BGL's YouTube, by the way? Has he still got his YouTube going on? Oh, I need to make a new tab. What's BGL's YouTube doing now? Because I haven't checked it out since. Has he actually uploading stuff? Because I feel like all that clout and attention was for nothing. He just went on there, started hammering the ex-wife for nothing, and then got exposed, and then all that drama, all for nothing really at the end of it. He got nothing to show from it. I'm not even sure if he got paid back from Brendan for the wages he didn't get paid. That was the original reason why he was fucking here in the first place, was because he was not paid his wages. The wages he earned, right? Or the wages, whatever, right? He didn't get the money he meant to get. And then, now look, let's see, Mark Harley. What's he doing now? I'm curious to see what he's actually up to, because I don't know if he's uploaded anything in his YouTube channel since. See, look at that. You type his name in, the three first things that come up aren't even to do with him. Comedy Enforcement, Brendan Cooney, Uniques, Elephant Graveyard. Nothing. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, so he's here now. The last thing he did was, is that what? So him responding to Luana's MMA-Holes interview. That's the last thing he's done. Okay, he's done pretty well in terms of subscribers. The drama's been good. 7.4 subscribers is pretty decent, to be fair. Is he doing anything content wise? Nothing. What's he got? Videos? Has he got shorts? Of course he's got shorts, right? Yeah, I'm not watching any of those though. He's got lives, 1 only, and 0. What about videos? 0 from 2 months ago. Come on, Mark, man. All that for fucking nothing, really, brother. All that for nothing. My account for notification from Brendan's copyright strike. Why is he posting? Who gives a shit? He's posting his whole entire paragraph of fucking hell. BGL is something else, man. This guy is something else. I swear to God, he's something else, man. Like, imagine you start off from like not having your wages paid, and then it turns into you outing your wife. Then she comes out and outs you, and then the other woman drama. Like, I don't know. This guy's a fucking basket case, bro. And he's what, 40 something years old, living at home and shit. Fucking wild guy, absolute wild guy. Anyway, go back to this, and look what he does. Look what life does to you. Then he's on the stream with this guy. Like, you know, it puts you in weird positions. Life sometimes, doesn't it?
That's what you slowly admit.
So this is Soren God, right? Or Soren?
Nah, I'm Southern Oregon Bird, bro. You don't even know. You a grifter. You a grifter. Mark, BGL, you know more. BGL, I salute you, bro.
I salute you, bro. You know you're a grifter. BGL, I salute you, bro. You know what it is on Pyru. You know what it is.
Real one. I came on here and he knew who I was. Yeah. Y'all, I can't stand him. Motherfucker, I helped build the ground y'all walk on. Motherfucker, I'm a PF Chang legend. Y'all motherfuckers can eat my motherfucking...
He actually is a PF Chang's legend. Jokes aside, South Oregon Bird, SOREGONBIRD is definitely a legend. He definitely will go down in history as a fucking legend. Do your thing. Flex your thing.
Chicken teriyaki dick. Y'all grifters. BGL, you a real one. Sweet? I'll keep it 100. I made Trug Walk, you motherfuckers. You know who the fuck I am. Now you know who I am. Yeah. Trug Walk? Yeah, I made Trug Walk, motherfucker.
Can you do it?
Trug Walk. I can't talk, but I'm walking in my truck. Can I get a Trug Walk? I'm redacted. Yeah. So how about y'all show a little motherfucking respect? I came on.
He skipped to a bar and went straight to I'm redacted.
Y'all show trying to be friendly, even though y'all grifters, you're grifters. At PF Chang's, we don't fuck with no one trying to sell their shirts. No one's trying to make money. You know how much money I could have made, bitch? I had multiple offers off this last year. You motherfuckers grifting hard, and I get it. Get your money, but don't you motherfuckers start not respecting me, motherfucker. I helped build the ground you walking on. And BGL knows it's true. BGL, I know you know it's true, bro.
No, I think you're confused. You're an OG. There was a guy.
Yeah, BGL knows. See, hey, shut up. Shut up. Okay, BGL just said it. I ain't trying to hear y'all because I never heard of you. You ain't never done nothing. You ain't never made no chicken teriyaki. But BGL just said it. What'd you say, BGL?
You're an OG.
What'd you say? Hey, my homie.
OG. You're an OG.
OG. That's motherfucking right. So
he had the entire room on manners, mate. He sunned BGL. What did I say? What did I say? Made him repeat. He got the other guy to shut up. He had them on, you know, he had him on attention, to be fair. He was really flexing his shit. He was really stunting on them. They were like, sorry, Songbird.
Chang, motherfucking grifter motherfuckers. Yeah, nah, y'all can shut the fuck up and let me ask a motherfucking question, cause y'all fucked up. Y'all get nah, y'all fucked up. Redacted. Yeah, I don't like him. I don't like him. Redacted,
No, we got
motherfucker.
confused because there was a guy.
Oh,
on
you
here.
got confused. Nah, your
There
whole
was a
fucking,
guy in here moaning.
your whole audience
There was
had
a
to
guy
tell
in
you
here
who I was,
moaning,
motherfucker.
and
Your
you
whole
thought it was
audience had to
you.
tell
There
you.
was a
Your
guy in
whole
here
audience
moaning,
had
and
to
you thought
tell
it
you
was
in the
you.
live chat. That's
You
the
can
only
talk
reason
all
I'm
you
back on
want.
here.
I mean, you can. Let's see who talks longer. I talked longer, so I guess I win, right? There was
No,
a
not
guy
really.
on
Nah,
here.
because no one
There
knows
was
who
a
you
guy on
are.
here
No
that
one knows
was
who you
moaning.
are, B. BG.
I swear this guy's a legend.
Yes,
Nobody
BGL's
knows who
putting
you
y'all on.
are.
You know what I'm saying? He's putting y'all on. So all I wanted to ask, motherfucking BGL, when he was really kind, he said, "Hey," he said he would fight. He said he would fight Bapa.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, cool!" Like,
Yeah.
thanks. Then y'all cut me off and started asking stupid questions.
You wouldn't be scared either, would you? Like, I don't like just to fight somebody. I don't know. Like,
No, especially.
Anyway, you get the gist. You get the gist, man. Fucking hell, what a fucking legend. Anyway, moving on from that one, I want to quickly check this video here, which features BAPA and the CEO cover Francis v Dana. This is a funny one. Big up SOREGONBIRD, of course, for uploading it, because the funny thing about this clip is that, if I'm not mistaken, this is also another example of just like Brennan's weird pivot of like trying to suck Dana White off. Dana White, I don't like. He's awful, right? He's an awful human being. Just the way, fighter pay situation, how he treats his fighters, how he talks about them. He's an awful person. But one thing is for certain about Dana is that once he hates you, it's very difficult for him to like you again. Like, he's very petty like that, right? Like, once you're his enemy, you're his enemy. So I'm confused why Brendan is trying to suck him off. Ever since the fucking sale, I feel like Brendan's always tried to suck Dana White off, hoping that Dana's gonna be like, yeah, let bygones be bygones, let's be friends again. He's never gonna forgive Brendan, ever. They're never gonna be cool. He hates him like to his core. I'm pretty sure Joe's tried to put in a good word about him. He doesn't care. So when Brendan keeps trying to suck Dana White off, it's really awful, especially in this regard, because Dana came out and said some really crazy shit about Francis Ngannou, basically tried to shit on his deal with the PFL, made it seem like Francis was being unreasonable, made it seem like Francis didn't want to fight and he was scared of John Jones. You know, the standard thing that Dana White does when he's trying to disparage or kind of not encourage his fighters on his roster to get any ideas about leaving. He kind of always tries to paint them out to be crazy. And Ariel Helwani did an amazing job of breaking it down and kind of calling out all the hypocrisies and the contradictions. But if you watch the entire 5-minute answer that he gives, when he's answering the questions after the UFC, you can tell Dana's chatting shit. He's just lying. He's making up on the spot. He's trying to cast the aspersions on Francis's name, on the deal overall, and just being, how he is toxic. And for some reason, everyone's agreeing that Dana's talking out of his ass and he's talking shit. But Brendan's the only person who's trying to defend fucking Dana White now, which is fucking bizarre, because like I said, Dana White clearly hates Brendan Schaub and he's never going to be his friend. So I'm really confused why Brendan is trying so hard to try and suck him off. Like, the guy does not like you. Like, just let it go.
Watch the shit talking now.
Raising money right now,
And what's wrong with that?
280 million, 300 million. I don't know what the number is.
Good.
Listen, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out Dana is saying...
So Ariel Helwani, Luke Thomas, Bryan Campbell are all in agreement. Dana is talking out of his ass and he's lying, and he's obviously being purposely manipulative, vague, whatever, condescending, blah blah blah. But he's talking out of his ass. Everyone agrees. All the experts, all the legit journalists, all the the guys that you should go to watch if you want to find out more shit and news information about combat sports and shit. They're all agreeing, but Brendan, the actual expert, doesn't.
untrue or
Honestly, why is Brendan like this? Can someone explain why is he like this? Like, Dana White is never gonna be his friend. The guy fucking hates his guts. Hates his guts. Dana probably hates his guts more than people on the subreddit, because people on the subreddit just discuss the podcast, right? They're not hating on the guy, and he's still trying to suck him off. I don't understand it. It must be because he's rich. That's the only reason why. Because you know, Brendan always likes to kind of like be. If you've got money, then it means that you're right and what you say and shit. So that's the only reason why he must be sucking off Dana. Only reason why I can imagine it. Because let it be known, if Brendan ever, let me just say this clearly. If Brendan ever went to a UFC fight card, which he never will, but if he went to a UFC fight card and he made it known and he posted it on his socials, Dana's petty enough to get him escorted out of that arena. Honestly, Dana hates Brendan the same way he hates Ariel Helwani. If Brendan ever showed up to a fight card, I wouldn't put it past Dana White getting Brendan escorted out of that fucking arena. It wouldn't surprise me. So this constant cucking for him is weird, because Dana holds grudges like no one's business. Like, he's not going to be your friend ever. And he's clearly not a friend of most fighters anyway, especially if you don't accept the deal that he's giving you. Automatically, you're like, he doesn't want to fight. He's scared. He doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to fight. It's like, brother, like, no UFC fighter is like, unless it's somebody crazy, no one's scared of anyone. You have to make it make sense monetarily, and then they'll fight anybody for the right price. This whole scared narrative is funny, especially coming from a guy that doesn't fight himself. Like, what? How are these guys scared? They're professionals. It's like, it makes completely no sense. Oh, but yeah. Anyways, where are we now? What we going to talk about here? We did that. We did this. I think, you know what? I think that might be it. I don't see anything else I wanted to speak about on here. I can't find the rest of it. Yeah, I think that may be it for now, you know. Unless anyone else has got anything. Oh, that's it. That's it. Last thing to speak about. So, have you guys seen this? This is pretty crazy, right? I'm not sure if you guys have seen this, but there's this kid in the UK who's going viral for all the wrong reasons. This video went viral around the world for whatever reason. It kind of latched onto the algorithm, and everyone was kind of lending their 2 pence on it. And it's this kid walking into a random person's house, and you know, their family's in there and shit, and it's supposed to be meant to be some sort of prank, and people went fucking crazy. So I'm going to show you all the clips that have led up to the situation, but the current situation at hand is that the kid has been arrested by the police eventually. But this whole affair was funny because I was getting some back and forth with people on fucking social media over this, and it kind of made me understand why people sometimes enjoy shit posting when you get into these little back and forths with people because you have a differing of opinion. So let's just play the clips anyway. So this is this kid, his name is MIZZY, and he does these pranks on social media. So this is the first one. This is the one that went viral, of him rocking up to some person's house and walking in. Fucking insane. Let's play the clip.
Get into random houses, let's go.
James, come to the front door right now, please.
James.
James.
Hi. You man, come.
Hello, James.
We need to speak to James.
James.
Hi. Is this where the study group is?
No. What door number is this?
Study group.
Yo.
Wait, this is not where the study group is.
got kids, man.
Oh, you got kids? Oh, sorry. Oh, I thought this was the study group. I actually thought. And this is the study group. What the?
Yo. So as you can see, that video is fucking insane, right? Honestly, these kids, clout is probably more addicted than fucking, you know, fentanyl and shit nowadays. I swear to God. Because what would possess some kids, especially the ones that look like this, right? Because they look kind of frail. They look really skinny and small and shit. You know, maybe they have a tall arm and I'm too short, to just rock up to somebody's house and just walk through. You know, the kids are in the house, and then go sit down on their fucking living room chair. Like, this alone would make me catch a case. This alone, sitting on the person's sofa, would legitimately, I'd be in prison off the back of this. This legit. This sitting on someone's sofa would legit make me upset. So obviously this went viral. People going crazy about it, talking about it on social, having their little 2 pence about it. And then the following clip is some more updates on the situation. Then that happened, that first clip. Then somebody online decides to kind of dig a bit deeper, and they decide to put together an entire thread. This person called Salman Anwar. So it's @_Salman Anwar, all one word on Twitter. They put together an entire thread that features all the crazy pranks this kid has done, right, over time. And it's an entire thread. You can see it yourself if you want to. But I've pulled a couple of the ones that really got people hot and bothered. And the one specifically being, no, that's not that one. What's that one? Bear with me a second if I can find it. That's him being arrested. Where is it? Not that one. Oh, where have I got it here? Did I not upload it? I guess I didn't upload it. Okay, cool. Maybe, okay, cool. Let's just see if I can play it anywhere here. But there's this particular clip that everyone got crazy about, which is one where he touches some woman's hair. I haven't actually watched this in full myself, but let's see if I can check this out, and let's see if it loads up on my screen here. Hopefully it loads. But this is the video everyone was going crazy over. This is the one that really got people irate, was this video. He pulls up to some woman and I guess 2 women sitting on a bench on a train station, and starts to say some really questionable things to them as they're minding their business. Let me see if this loads. It's not going. I should have uploaded it properly before, innit? Fuck. It's not going to load. Let's just refresh this a second. Bear with me a sec. Hopefully it works out. But as you can see, this kid hasn't gained any fans here. And people are going crazy. But it's funny because I feel like a lot of people aren't really saying what they want to say loudly. They're saying it quietly, in the idea of like, hey, we want to actually, you know, be in a society where it's okay to fucking kill pranksters and shit for being annoying or for trespassing or whatever it may be. Like, that's the society people want to live in. And it kind of slightly reminded me a little bit of the situation with the guy on the train in New York. Slightly, a little bit. Not really, but a little bit, in terms of, you know, if people start taking justice into their own hands, it's going to go a crazy way. So let's see if this plays. This is the video here on the train tracks. Let's see if it loads up now. Hopefully it does. Bear with me a second. Come on. Is it going to load? No, it isn't. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. But anyway, trust me, this video is not the greatest, right? It makes them look fucking insane as they're trying to intimidate or get on the nerves of these ladies who are minding their business. And some people kind of painted it out as it being abuse. I'm not really too sure if this counts as sexual abuse or something, but let's see if this works.
What? I saw you from over there. I like your hair still. You got some nice hair. It's nice and luscious. I'm perfectly fine. You're gonna die. Huh? Why are you just smiling at me? I asked him a question, a serious question. Do you wanna die?
No.
Why?
Oh my god.
You're gonna die? You sure?
Yeah.
I saw you from over there. You're just looking like you wanted to die.
When did we look at you?
Well, you was looking at me this whole time. You're gonna die? Nah, bro. Bro. You're gonna die, bro. Bro, don't even answer that right now. Is it serious, bro? You're trying to answer the phone. Who's calling you? They can wait. They can wait, bro. You're gonna die, bro, because I can take it out right now, bro.
Jesus Christ.
What's wrong?
Huh?
What's wrong?
I can take it out right now. Do you want to die? Yes or no? How speak? I'm talking to you, bro. You don't want to die? Swat me then. Swat. I lied to you, bro. I don't know why you're laughing as well, bro. Just I take it out right now.
Okay. Oh, I don't know what to say, but these kids are fucking insane. And is it just like good luck on their side of things that they haven't crossed paths with somebody just willing to push them in the train tracks? Is that just good luck? Or do you think there's this weird kind of undercurrent of people not wanting to say anything or do anything because they're black kids and they don't want to looked at as they're racist if they say anything or do anything? Because it doesn't make any sense in my head. Like, he's clearly picking soft victims, people that he knows he can get away with this shit with, because he went to like a really fancy place somewhere, like a nice affluent area. It looks like that house looked fucking beautiful. 3 floors it looked like, right? Super nice. And he knows he can get away with that sort of thing. He wouldn't do that in the hood. So he does that. Then he picks on 2 seemingly very young, again, I can't see it from here because the video is very far away, but they look like 2 really young looking white girls. He knows he can kind of, and they sound kind of foreign. They might have a bit of an accent. So he knows he can get away with this kind of intimidation a little bit because of that. But then I'm wondering if the people who are the victims are also allowing him to get away with it, because deep down they don't want to be seen as racist by like telling him to go get fucked, or legitimately like these girls are there, like legitimately both of them getting up and just push him into the fucking train tracks. Like, fuck it, you split your head, you split your head. Do you know what I mean? You die, but like, why are you in my space? Why are you touching my hair? Why are you telling me that you want to kill me and shit? Why are you asking me if I want to die? Like, fucking honestly, this is fucking disturbing. And if this doesn't make you any more disturbed, this is the video that this kid filmed. So after this stuff went viral, everyone is talking about it online. He films this video talking about himself getting arrested. Like there's an arrest warrant out for him. He's gonna go hand himself into the police, and just hear the way he sounds, right? Like, you know, the videos I'll show you are pretty serious, pretty crazy things that he's doing. And he seems to not have a care in the world. He's even talking about going on Piers Morgan and doing a fucking interview. Imagine that.
Lads, I need to go to the station to hand myself in. I'm going at 9:30. My solicitor called me. Have to try to get this sorted out as soon as possible. We've got Piers Morgan at 8 o'clock tomorrow, so hopefully we get this banged out as soon as possible. I have to go to court in the morning. It's all mad. Free up Mizzy. If you want to continue sharing my videos, let me know. I'm going to add you all to a group chat, and then I'm going to post all my videos on one thing, and you man just share them everywhere.
Why are there kids out there who think this is like funny? They think this is like cool. This is like another level of like weird. Because he's acting and talking like there's like a community of kids who are encouraging him to do this shit. And who are kind of like, you know, banding around. Because he says he's got a WhatsApp group. I'm assuming there's probably a Telegram. There might be a Discord of these kids, like sharing content, sharing ideas, egging him on and whatnot, encouraging him to do it. That's the real disturbing bit. Fair enough, he's the fucking tapped one. He's the one that's a little bit redacted, or not a little bit, super redacted. Fair play. But then there's a whole band of kids around him egging him on. Go Mizzy, go Mizzy, go Mizzy. Like, this is fucking insane. And he's loving the attention. This is the thing. He's loving the attention. He's loving it. He's lapping it up. He's looking at his followers go up. He's loving the comments just because it's engaged. Doesn't care what you say to him. He's absolutely loving it. Like, clout is the most dangerous drug in the world. Worse than any type of drug you've seen out there. Fentanyl included. This guy is on another mad one. And then, of course, the final report here, courtesy of Sky News, talking about the whole entire thing. Again, this kid got on Sky fucking News. This is how much he's terrorizing people out there in fucking London. Absolutely wild.
Good evening, Anna. As you say, police are looking for an 18-year-old man from Hackney called Bakari Ugaro, known as Mizzy on social media. In a video that's been going viral, we can see him and what seems to be a friend appearing to break into a family home, seemingly ignoring the homeowners. There's a woman in the front garden, a man inside the home. As they make their way in, they seem to ignore a young child calling for their dad as they sit on a sofa making themselves at home. Now, people have been calling on the police to act, and they now have. Police say that they have been in contact with the family and continue to liaise with them in regards to potential further action. Now, police also say that they are currently looking for Mr. Ugaro because they believe he may have breached a community protection notice, one that was issued to him last May, in order to stop him
Jesus Christ. So he's already known to the police. Fucking hell.
Harassing or alarming members of the public, and it appears potentially that this viral video may have done just that. Now, this isn't the first time Mr. Ugaro has appeared to do something of this nature. His TikTok videos are full of him attempting to shock or intimidate passers-by. We have some examples for our viewers on the screen there. He's running off with a stranger's dog, asking a random man on the street repeatedly whether he wants to die. The man in the video.
Nah, but that's a. He's got the person's dog under his arm. Look at the dog's face. Holy shit. How this guy hasn't been thumped in before is just a real shame. It just goes to show how most people can talk a big game online, but when they actually come face to face with somebody, disrespecting them, getting into their space, taking the piss, they do nothing. Because this is insane. It's impossible that he's picking the right victims every fucking time. It's legitimately impossible. Surely somebody by this point should have, you know, fucking caved his head in with a fucking baseball bat at this point that he's got away with it this long. Or are people in the UK that soft that they let someone get away with this? Like, he just grabbed this person's dog. Look at the dog's face. Look at the dog's face. Bless, man. This is so fucking awful. Can you imagine how terrifying this is? Because there's some dog owners that get weirded out if you try and pet their dog. If you look at their dog too often or too long. Imagine some stranger picking your dog up and running away with it as a prank. I would see red. If I was a dog person, I would see red.
Looks visibly distressed, and the man proceeds to chase him. In another video, he goes to an elderly woman's house and.
Honestly, for real though, what do you guys think in the chat? Do you think he's actually slow, or he has some sort of issue? Or do you think this is just a circumstance of kids just doing anything for views? What do you think happening? Because me personally, I think there's a little bit of a spectrum issue going on there. There's definitely some sort of mental health issues. For me personally, I feel like it. I feel like there's a mental health issue there. I don't feel like this is all just a prank thing. I feel like the guy's not all there in the head, personally for me.
Asks her where his money is. There's also been another video doing the rounds of.
People say, no, he just wants to go viral. Fair enough. Yeah, he just wants to go viral. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. He's just a fucking cunt.
Mr. Ugaro in a well-known supermarket on an e-bike, speeding around a security try and stop him. So countless examples. Now, TikTok have taken the video down, and YouTube earlier today also took his account down.
Oh no, they're gonna take my video down too. Hopefully you don't take my reaction down. Please don't take my reaction down, YouTube. Please. I'm just a small content creator.
If you try and click on the page, it says that the account has breached the terms and conditions. Now, police are saying, or they have issued a statement saying that they are taking matters very seriously, and they want to reassure the public that they are doing that, and that an investigation is currently underway, and that inquiries are being made to help them locate Mr. Ugaro as soon as they can.
I'm sorry, but this kid terrorizing the whole country is fucking funny as fuck. He looks like he's like 90 pounds soaking wet. The fact that he's not been absolutely, like, I don't know, like clobbered says everything about this fucking country, man. Honestly. And then I guess the final video for this one, do I have it on here? I didn't upload it, did I? Fucking idiot. Anyway, there's a video of him walking into a police station, actually. Let's see if I can find that one. I think he finally got arrested. And he looks like he doesn't give a flying fuck. Him and his friends are actually laughing about it and singing songs as he walks into a police station. You couldn't make this shit up. I swear to God, you couldn't make this shit up. This kid's on another level of it. This is another level of redactedness. Let's see if I can find this here somewhere. His name is MIZZY, right? It should be on here somewhere. Let's see if it kind of loads. Surrender to police. Yeah, there he is. See? Yeah, see? There he is. Look at him. He doesn't give a flying fuck. That's him being surrendered by the police from Ollie, London. These kids are fucking insane. They're so lucky. They're so fortunate they don't live in America, because their faces would have got blown off of their fucking shoulders. We saw what happened with people in the subway, right? In the train in New York. This kid was dancing, asking for money, saying that he was hungry, and an ex-Marine choked him out for fucking 15 minutes, right? Like, we know what happens in America. These guys are so lucky in England. We're so polite and everyone is so afraid of not looking racist and shit that they let him get away with murder, because anywhere else, you're in big trouble, bruh. You're in, yeah, this is the video. Look at this one. They're actually in the police station. Look at these kids. Not a single fuck given.
MIZZY. We're up in the big man. Free MIZZY. Free MIZZY, bro. Free MIZZY. Free MIZZY. Free MIZZY, bro. Free MIZZY, bro. Bro. Last statement.
We outside. Share the message.
Share the message.
Oh, I despair. I really despair, man. Exactly. Dom, I hate this. Exactly. I despair. I despair with these kids, man. I don't know what to say. I despair. Fucking hell. Honestly, they are so lucky. They are so lucky. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what you would have done if somebody walked through your family home? What would you have done if somebody does this to you? You're minding your business, and these two fucking scrawny pieces of shit just
Let's go.
walk up to your house. What would you do in this respect? The door's open because your wife is in the garden. You're in a room here. Your kid is doing what the kid's doing, and somebody opens your gate and walks into your house. Look at it. That's the wife there. Seeing these random black boys pulling up to her house. Like, this is going to end up like a John Wick scene. Like, and I'm not saying it to be tough or anything, but you can't be coming into someone's space and expecting me to like talk to you. This is going to end up like a John Wick movie scene. There's going to be blood everywhere. And I'm going to be sitting there after the fact just waiting for the police to come and take me away. You know, like, it is what it is. You can't be doing, like, I can't believe that they got, like, and it's not even an excuse of like, oh, they're just doing it to white people that look like they're soft. Bruh, it doesn't matter what color or race or creed that you are. Somebody does this to you, you're going to see red. They're just lucky that they happen to walk into the one people's home who didn't seem to be on that time. They dealt with it in a calm way, got the guys out of here, probably called the authorities after the fact, but the fact that nothing physical happened to them is a fucking miracle.
James? Come to the front door right now, please.
James? Hi. You man come. Hello, James.
James, hi. James, please grab a knife. Please grab a saucepan, something at all. Please, James. You should be coming out in demon time, brother.
James. James. Hi. James.
Oh my God, there's a kid there as well. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Is this where the study group is?
No.
What kind of is this? No.
Look. Okay, you could be fair and say, fair enough. The walk-in is whatever, they're trying to do a prank, you kick them out, you tell them to get the fuck out of here. This is the one time also, to be completely like, you know, honest, if you decided to call them a racial slur, I'd understand in this situation. You're completely within your rights to call them a racial slur. Fair enough, that happens. But if they walked into your living room and sat down, that's when legitimately things are going left. They sit in your living room on your fucking sofa. That's when shit's going left.
Wait, this is not where the study group is.
Got kids, man.
Oh, you got kids? Oh, sorry. Oh, I thought this was a study group. I actually thought.
The wife was on more smoke than the guy. The wife looked like she was ready to go. The wife looked like she was on more smoke than the guy. Like, if there was a tool next there, she would have done something. James, man, you should have just, for the culture, you should have done something to these kids, man. You should have left a mark on them. We would have gathered around. We would have thrown some shekels near your way for a GoFundMe. Honestly, you should have done something, James.
Oh, I thought this was a study group. I actually thought. And this is
You could have easily taken these guys out.
study group.
Fucking hell. Fucking hell, man. Honestly. Clout is the most dangerous drug in the world. But yeah. It's like, see, Domo Creole says it's disappointed they weren't deleted. 100%. Oh, fucking hell, man. Whew. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, lads. I'm going to leave it there. Rest on that one. You know, think about how you would approach that situation if that was your real life. I'm going to leave it fucking there. Oh my God. What absolute terror. What absolute fucking horror. I can't believe that, man. Oh, God almighty. God almighty. I think that might be it. I might have to leave it there. I'm double check again the flipping sub and see if I've missed anything. I don't think I have. I think I've covered most of the stuff I wanted to talk about on here. Let me double check. Yeah, that's basically it, actually. So this has been the Random Show episode number 112. Big up the stream chat. Big up everybody hanging in there. If you've been still here until now, appreciate ya. Please make sure you like the stream if you can. That'd be much appreciated. I would appreciate that from you. Please like the stream for me. Para mí. And yeah, man. Please like the stream. Please do that. And we'll be back again very, very soon with more episodes of the Random Show throughout the week. We'll see what's happening, what develops and what pops off, and we'll go from there. But big up the stream chat, big up Crash, big up Coiler, big up Uche, big up Mega Fan here, Domo Creole, 7 Dirty, Brandon as usual, big up you, my guy, big up Crooked Nose. Who else is here? Let me know how that goes. Big up Jared Mellerick. Yeah, loads of you in the stream chat here. Big up everybody here. Seth Pollock. Who else is here? Everyone, yeah. MKCRVROJ. Big up you also. Thank you so much for hanging in there. Appreciate you all. See you guys very, very soon, as per usual. And yeah, man, keep in touch. Keep in touch. See you guys soon. Take care. Be well. Peace.